What's going on, balls?
What's up?
How's everybody doing? Getting everybody in here. I was a little bit late tonight.
Buddy, what the hell you doing?
Eric, what's up?
Yo. What's up, guys?
God.
Still getting some people in here. Hello, everybody. Stuntman Mark.
What's
We
up?
got Phantasm Matt in here, and the legend himself, old Carly Jaws, without a shirt on, boys. Is it hot up there? Did your air conditioning go out?
He's keeping it real as fuck.
I'm keeping it real. Yeah, like I'm keeping it real as fuck.
Oh,
So
God.
No, what I was actually doing was watching the M. Night Shyamalan movie, Old. And I gotta say, I was expecting a little bit more than what I got, to be honest with you.
That's the case with all this stuff, pretty much, right?
Nothing beats
Well, I mean,
happening.
it seemed like people were bragging that movie up a little bit, though. I was kind of, I don't know. I was kind of expecting a little bit more out of it.
His last best film was The Happening, I thought.
You enjoy that.
It was fucking great.
If you like The Happening, you had to like Old. I mean, it's basically the same thing, the same style of acting. Jesus.
I've not seen Old yet, but it's on my list to watch.
Oh, it's pretty fucking brutal.
It's going to be the Brady Bunch in here tonight, boys. We got somebody else.
Who
See
the
if
hell
we
else
can
is in here?
Get it up to
Oh, shit.
John.
What's up? I'm flipped.
He's an upside down, baby. He's coming back. Saturday Nightmares mixed with been a little while since we've done this patron top show, couple months for sure. So, killing two birds with one stone tonight. If you guys got anything you want to talk about, kind of a free for all, we'll talk about it. The chat, the same thing. Anybody has any recent happenings in the world of horror or physical media or whatever, we can talk about it tonight.
Have any of you seen The Black Phone yet?
No, not yet.
Not me.
It's on my list.
No. I hear good things though.
It's
Have you seen
great.
it, Curly Dolls?
Yeah, it was really, really good. I liked it. I dug it.
Nice.
Was it better than the Fog remake?
No, nothing could beat the Fog remake. Movie's fucking gem. It's on its own pedestal, balls.
Is it a banger? That's what the kids say now. It's a banger.
No, it's bussin' now, boss.
It's bussin'.
It's bussin'.
Bustin'.
So the chat give John Cressett. Yeah, he was the one. He's getting his camera fixed. He'll be back.
Yeah,
Alexander Lumberjack is in the house. I'm going to give some shout outs. Horror Bengals fan. He's ready, he says. He's ready to rock and roll and strut and stroll. Ryan Adkins, Ken Carlson, Carolina Chupacabra, Douglas Clapper, Texas HXCX 1965, baby. Yo, yo, yo. Anthony, what's up, man?
What's up, guys?
What are you doing, man? We're gonna have fucking 15 people in here for to start with.
Brady Bunch. Let's do
We're
it.
gonna have to do it round robin style, where like we just each person says something like down the.
Yeah, Eric is like Alice. He's in the middle there, so he gets to look around at everybody.
Was that just by serendipity? Like, is it just randomly positioned?
Oh,
I guess. I have no idea. John Leguizamo is in here. He's putting the Fog remake over as well. Is underrated.
Very
The most
underrated.
underrated movie in history, the Fog remake.
I agree with that.
So, Curly, were you excited to see the announcement from Scream Factory? And were you thinking that it may have been the Fog remake collector's edition?
I got my hopes up, and when I found out it was that shitty John Carpenter movie, I fucking said, "Fuck this shit." fuck The only good film John Carpenter ever made, I can't think of one. I really can't.
Ghosts of Mars. He made
having a
Ghosts
hard
of
time?
Mars.
Ghost of Mars was okay.
Have you ever seen The Ward?
Yeah, man, The Ward.
I've not seen The
No.
Ward.
It's got Amber Heard in
Village
it.
of the Damned. I think that would be Curly Jaw's Carpenter movie right there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that back. I did enjoy The Thing. It was all right.
Just all right. All right.
It's yes.
Those
It's
effects
average.
were just probably terrible for you. You probably hated those effects.
Here we go, bulls.
We're almost Brady Bunch level now. That horror critic.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
What's going
Not
on?
too much. How you doing
How are you,
tonight?
sir?
I am doing very good. How are y'all?
Happy as can be.
Hours
Just
out.
kind of hanging out tonight, you know. So yeah, we're one away from the full Brady Bunch. I don't know how many we can have streaming on here actually at one time, but
It
we're
won't
getting
be
up
too
there.
long till my computer shuts down. So, yeah, I swear
Oh,
to God,
same way.
like one
Same
more
way with
person,
me.
it's probably like, yeah.
But it's all good. You know, we'll keep going until the computer blows up. But one of the things that I wanted to mention on here before I forget, I'm sure somebody will bring it up as well. Oh, it's the
Here we go.
Brady Bunch.
What's up?
I know.
And now all our shit's gonna explode. John's back. Welcome back, Big Match John.
Yeah.
We're gonna call you Big Match John.
Mid Carter John. European John.
The John Carpenter. Well, yeah, we were talking about John Carpenter earlier, but the big thing this week that I took out from Second Sight Films. Everyone knows they were working on John Carpenter again. George Romero, Martin. They've been working on it for a couple of years, but the news came out I think about 8 months ago that there was a director's cut version, a 3-hour version of Martin that's never been seen before that was tracked down. And the owners of the print, and this is kind of the same thing that happened with the Halloween footage. The owners of the print want way too much for the print, and they can't show it. And the people that show it, I think in this case Richard Rubenstein, they can't play it because they don't have access to it. So like what? I mean, in a movie like Halloween, I can kind of understand it a little bit more, but a movie like Martin that is kind of underground still, there's still been a lot of people that you can't really track this movie down. I mean, the DVDs have been out of print for a while. What in the fuck do you think that these people are, what do they want? Like, I mean,
Does Richard Rubenstein
were they wanting a percentage of the DVD sales, or what?
Does
I mean, I
Richard
just don't
Rubenstein
understand.
own the rights to that? Do you know?
Yeah. Pretty sure
I think
does.
he owns Martin as far as the distribution.
If you look
and
at what
all
happened
that.
with Dawn of the Dead, guy put ungodly amount of money into doing a 3D restoration of Dawn of the Dead, which I think they screened one time. So I'm sure it didn't make its money back, and they still haven't licensed the rights out to that for a U.S. release. The second site release is amazing, so no one's going to need to buy a U.S. release anyway. But if he owns the rights, my guess is he just wants a ton of money. You know, that would be.
Well,
my
I'm
guess.
talking. He owns the rights to the. You know, if he wants to sell it to Scream Factory and do a special edition or whatever, the people that own the director's cut, the film print, it's a film print. That's a third party, so they don't have the rights to actually show it or anything. They physically own it. So there's really nothing that anybody can do about that other than pay them like a huge sum of money to show the footage or whatever. I don't know how that works. It's kind of iffy. But the same sort of thing happened with the Halloween uncut footage, or the B-reel or whatever you want to call it. So I mean, it's a weird. Someone mentioned here, American copyright laws are completely insane. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is really copyright, but if someone physically owns something, it's kind of hard to say, what are you going to do? Call the police and say, hey. Shit.
Here's what I want to know, though. What director's cut movie is that you've seen? And I'm being honest, I'm just curious. What director's cut version of a film that you've seen do you think is better than the theatrical version?
Rob Zombies.
Shut the fuck up, Carl Jones.
God, no.
I should have seen that coming.
I mean, is the aliens footage? Would you guys? There's not much there, but I know aliens had 5 or 10.
Aliens. The alien specialist has extra half hour in it.
Oh, does it? Wow.
Yeah,
but
Texas Chainsaw has some stuff.
Both Aliens is a good example because I think the longer version just gives you more of what's already a really exciting film. Plus, it gives some emotional weight because it does the Ripley's daughter backstory. It kind of goes into that a little bit more. Plus, you have the sentry guns, which are only in the long version, which is just cool.
Mm-hmm.
But the theatrical works really, really well as well. So I think the special edition or director's cut just gives you more of what you want. I don't know if you could argue that it's superior.
Yeah.
So that's a good question, Uncle Bill. I don't know if there's one example you can clearly say is this is definitively better than the theatrical version.
Well, I just watched Joe Bob's Nightbreed commentary, and that was the director's cut or whatever on that. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, because he's saying, it's so much better than the theatrical edition. And the majority of the stuff that they added into that, I'm just like, that's not really any. I mean, the scenes were not really that great, and they didn't seem to really add that much to it, from what I could tell. So, I mean, I would prefer, even in that case, the theatrical edition. So, I mean, and Dawn of the Dead's another one, the extended version or whatever. I mean, maybe it's just where I've seen the theatrical cut so many times, but I don't think that that's a better.
Well, we're not going to be able to see the director's cut. I think Second Sight already said that they're moving forward with, they're doing a 4K of it without the director's, the 3 hour, and honestly, a 3 hour cut of Martin. Martin's a slow movie anyway. And adding that extra time onto it, I'm not sure. I mean, it'd be interesting to see just for preservation purposes, I guess, because this is, I said a 35 millimeter print. I think it's a 16 millimeter print, actually. I'll have to go back and double check. But, I mean, if there's only one left in existence, I would hope that somebody at least got a hold of it to scan it, or something before anything could happen,
Yeah, I think that's the point, is it is long, and it might be too long to want to actually sit through every time you watch it, but the point is to have it preserved, and why not just let them preserve it in that format of 4K and clean it up, just so we have it before something happens to it,
Yeah.
But they posted a comment, they said, clarifying further, the issue is not so much with the physical access to the print, but the distribution rights clearance for this version, which our original agreement did not include. That's what they wrote. So I don't know what the problem is necessarily still.
Yeah, I mean, I had heard a couple of different stories that the print went up for auction and somebody else purchased it. So who knows? I mean, I think the odds are there could always be a Martin release here in the United States at some point in the future. But, I mean, I think that the people that physically own that director's cut, they're kind of underestimating or overestimating the demand for this sort of thing. I mean, of course, hardcore horror fans are going to want to see it, but the common person is going to go out and just do a random search on horror movies on Amazon. Martin is going to be way, 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 way down on that list.
Yeah, nobody talks about Martin. You never hear anybody talking about it. I mean, it's on YouTube for free. You can watch it.
I saw they're going to release that old shitty amusement park movie too on Blu-ray or something. Has anybody seen that though? Seriously?
Yeah, I did. I didn't care for it.
God bless. Curly Jaws, you love that. It's like you be on that fucking It's one of.
What is?
Oh my God.
What's the difference between when Dawn of the Dead came out on Anchor Bay, whenever it was 20 years ago, and now? I don't understand what the holdup is, like, because back then obviously there was a reason to put it out. They made money, but like now, I don't get where the problem is. Because I mean, I get he wants money, but like, what is he wanting that they can't give him?
I don't think he owned it back then, right?
He wants too much money. Yeah, like I was saying before, Richard Rubenstein, I believe, owns the U.S. rights. So if someone wants to release it in the States, they have to license it through him. He put an ungodly amount of money into that 3D version of Dawn of the Dead. I think he wants to be able to recoup that cost, which is like, $10 million or something. It's insane. So I don't know what company's going to pay him what he wants to be able to license it out in the States. I think that's what the holdup is. That's what I've heard.
Back then you could get that DVD of Dawn of the Dead at like Rite Aid during Halloween when they had like
Walmart,
like a little section. Yeah,
you get the Blu-ray at Walmart like when it first came out. I'm pretty sure the Anchor Bay one.
Yeah,
that's what kills me.
What was the last?
You never see like any of that Rubenstein, like the Dawn of the Dead's never on any streaming service. It's never like you never catch it anywhere. And it's all because that guy. I mean, he just won't license.
It's a shame because I mean, really, Dawn of the Dead is a good film. Aside from being an all-time classic horror or genre film, right? It's just a good movie. People should be able to see it. So I mean, obviously that second sight 4K is outstanding, but like not every casual movie fan's going to go and port UK 4K Blu-ray release to see it. So it's a shame that it's not more widely available because it's just a classic film. So hopefully they can sort it out eventually and give it a proper release in the States, or at least get it up on streaming so people can see it.
It's odd because I think it was like 2008, maybe 2009 is when the Anchor Bay Blu-ray came out for Dawn of the Dead. And then in the US, there's been nothing since then that I can think of.
No, that Blu-ray is still worth money. I think not as much as it was.
Like $80 or something, like a few months ago. Whenever I got the second sight, people still pay a lot for it.
Wow, that's wild.
So the second sight,
but
you can play the 4K, but the Blu-ray you have to have region free, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the reason why I bought a region free player, was that release right there. I didn't have one, and then after that came out, I was like, okay, I need the 4K of this movie, but I don't want to have that sitting there knowing that I can't play those discs. So I just buckled and got a player. So
Alpha Romero posted on here. It's kind of interesting take on it. I respect that Rubenstein hasn't pimped out Dawn like Evil Dead or Halloween has been pimped out. What do you guys think of that? Because you can, I mean,
he tried to pimp out Dawn. Just no one was going to go pay a ton of money to go see it in the 3D in a theater. Like I said, I think they showed it one time. So he was trying. Didn't pan out.
The 3D aspect, I mean, that's kind of run its course. Like 3D is now kind of,
Yeah.
It's so not like you could do a Blu-ray 3D.
Why would you close convert a 1970s classic into 3D? Like, just ridiculous.
I mean, I kind of get what he's saying.
And why would it cost $10 million to do that? There's some like TVs that'll do that for you, actually. Click a button, okay, it's kind of 3D. And it works just as good.
But yeah, I get what he's saying too, where it's like they haven't put out 27 releases of that movie. But the fact that it doesn't have one decent US release that you don't have to go pay a lot on the aftermarket to get is just, it's disappointing because it's such an important movie.
Yeah. The Blu-ray was on YouTube for a while. I don't know if it still is, but the whole 1080 rip of it was.
Yeah, I think it was up to a couple months ago when you guys did that commentary, Uncle Bill. Wasn't it on YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
That's probably what got it taken down.
Probably. Yeah. But if y'all want to see any of the Evil Dead films, I mean, you can get Army of Darkness right now. You can get a bundle with the steelbook of it, the regular edition of it, enamel pin set, posters, shotgun, medieval armor, whatever else that Scream Factory's included in that.
But if you got it for $60 during that little short time, fuck you.
Yeah, that was the best thing ever. They're like,
no, you didn't. You didn't get it.
Nope.
But we're going to be nice and give you a $5 coupon because that's how we do things. $5.
Perfect.
Oh God, you know who's in here?
Metal Man.
No.
With his
No.
with his beard that smells like a dead man's ass.
that guy.
Why do you guys think that they gave up the rights to TCM too? Like, because they know that's going to make money. Why would they not just renew the rights to that? I don't understand.
I don't know how that works, actually. I mean, maybe they just, whoever owned it, just negotiated with Vinegar Syndrome and got a better deal. I'm not really sure how that works.
I mean, I'm assuming they get it for like a certain amount of time, right? A lot of those releases.
Yeah, probably like a 2 or 3 year contract or something like that.
Vast majority, yes.
Yeah, it's
vast majority.
It's weird how they just like, I don't know. They're so big, but they keep doing this dumb shit, and I don't know. It's I get they want to be cheap, but like, God, they got so much more money than all these other companies, and they're just fucking up all the time. It's odd.
Rambo Raff is in the house. He said that Rubenstein did want to pimp it out. He's just too fucking stupid. I don't know Rubenstein. I know that he's I've been told he's a shrewd business man, if you will. So, but yeah, I mean, that a movie like Dawn of the Dead shouldn't be that difficult to watch. Like, it should be readily available on Amazon or wherever else. If somebody searches for it, they should be able to get it. I mean, it's kind of messed up that you can go and get fucking Flesh Eater in 4K, and Dawn of the Dead is like, I'm
Flesh
sorry.
Eater is actually a good movie. That's why.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Flesh Eater?
That's a goddamn classic.
Yes. I can't stand the original Dawn of the Dead. That movie's fucking dog shit.
It's a piece of trash. What it is.
We need to see.
So you're thinking?
Oh man,
we need to see Curly Jaws and T-Shirt Joe do a commentary on Dawn of the Dead.
That would be. I would fucking actually set that up. That'd be great.
Another Dawn of the Dead commentary.
Yeah.
But open floor tonight. If anybody in the chat, there's any sort of recent topic that you want us to discuss, throw it out there. Or any of you guys, if you've got anything you want to talk about in your new movies or anything in general, just.
I'm ready for Ghostface to go to Manhattan.
Ghostface takes Manhattan.
I think that's going to be good. Taking Ghostface in Manhattan, why not? Like, they've done all they can do with him in Woodsboro, so why not take him to Manhattan? I think that'd be really good.
Well, did you see that Nev Campbell is apparently in now?
I cannot make heads or tails out of that shit. Because you hear one thing and you hear something else, and I hear people being like, oh, no, that's not true. Sean Clark did a post that was like, no, that's not true. It was on Facebook. Because didn't he represent her or something?
He does.
She's been in it the whole fucking time. She's been in it the whole time.
It's a big conspiracy. Yeah.
I feel like if she's not in it, you're not going to get asses in seats. It's like, you gotta.
They're setting up 7. I think 7's going to be the big one. They're setting up 7 or 8. I don't remember.
But this had to be some kind of.
It's weird with Scream. Yeah, I'm not really sure. It's weird with Scream, though, because, like, what kind of surprise ending can you really do? Like, it's always just some random new character in each movie is the killer, and they want to be famous, and it's, it's like, that shit's run its course. They need to do, I don't know if they need to bring, like, a zombie ghost face into it, and do it that way, or
make him supernatural.
At this point, like, who cares, like, about who the killer is?
I saw one thing that was pretty cool. It was actually, they said, what if the killer lived from at the end of one movie into the next movie? I thought that might be kind of interesting.
I'd bring back Stu back, make him the killer in the 7th one. It was all he never died in the first one. That'd be amazing. That'd be the best thing they could do with it.
I think that's what they might do. They just might bring Stu back and be like, "Fuck you guys, we brought him back. Who cares if a TV fell on him? Who cares if a TV fell on him?"
I mean, you can walk that off. He's fine.
Yeah. Come on, it's a horror movie. They can deal with it.
It's either that
He's just
or
a
make
little
Stu the
woozy.
killer.
I don't think anything's going to be that interesting anymore. They're playing blackjack with these sequels, and it's seriously like they should have just ended it with 5, if you ask me. And I like Scream just as much as anybody else does, but how many of these can we do where no ending? I don't think that they can put on the screen is going to make me go, "Oh my goodness! Oh my god! I can't believe they did that!" You know, it's just like.
See, I love Scream, so they can do more and more if they want to. I'd be happy because I love the 5th one was great. The 5th one was the best one in the franchise.
I swear to God. I swear to fucking God.
I didn't mind the 5th one, to be honest.
Almost
I didn't mind
4 was the second one.
Yeah,
I
it was
love
fine.
4.
The most recent one was fine.
Have a ghost face
bringing
gangbang.
back-
I think the 5th one was better than 4.
Yeah,
Also,
it was
I
like
the fourth one.
didn't realize. I wouldn't.
It is better.
Have
than
so
4.
many of them.
Oh man.
Although they're gonna bring back the best character from 4 in this new sequel, the Kirby character, right? Which they sort of teased as an Easter egg in this last film, and then they're doing it. Which I don't know. To me, that's a smart idea. It's a likable character.
I'll be honest with you. Like I really don't give a shit about Neve Campbell in those movies because the last 2 movies that I thought she just phoned in that performance anyway.
Right.
She's only in the last one for like what, maybe 10 minutes, like all together.
Yeah, because
so who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's like Scream 3. She was
If-
also
if-
gone.
If they
from
brought
the
back
movie.
Stu, which it seems like they might, would anyone care that Neve Campbell wasn't in this movie?
No.
No.
I think if you
No.
had like Hayden whatever whatever, and then you had like
Penetrator.
Hayden Penetrator. Yeah, that's a great name, by the way.
I think that's what her name is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce shit. I'm from Eastern Kentucky, so I can get away with that.
How many people honestly can go crazy and put that mask on? I mean, that's the whole thing of it. Is like I like watching them, but like, shit, like every movie, there's some crazy motherfucker that's gonna put that mask. I mean, that just
as long as the money's in the bank for these studios, man, the sequels will keep coming.
Makes
That's
money.
it. You know,
Yeah,
and the
maybe
fact
it's
that they're
Silver Shamrock mask.
yeah, right. Just put the Silver Shamrock shit in there. No, the fact that they're doing it so soon too, like literally, like the follow, like that's kind of nuts. I wasn't expecting them to be like, yeah, we're shooting this shit now. So, because like there's a bunch of people like trying to get glimpses of them filming this stuff and all this. So it's like I was surprised that they took a big gap and then did the like MTV show in between those years. Like it was a very weird time for the franchise, and it just comes back because it sees what Halloween's doing. But I mean, I didn't mind Scream 5. Like I would still kind of rank them in the order they kind of came out, as far as what I like.
Yeah.
Like the 5th one was
Norton
just
Rad
like,
89. What do you guys think I don't even know what the status is on Evil Dead Rise. He says it's going to wipe the floor with 2022 horror films.
Pretty sure it's a HBO Max exclusive.
I mean, I'm excited for it. I mean, I didn't like the first 2 Evil Dead films, but I got hopes for this one because I love. Listen now.
What about the Evil Dead remake?
That was great. That was an amazing film.
The Evil Dead remake is a really good film.
A lot of
Honestly,
people like it, yeah.
Zero
wasn't that
irony.
bad. There was a lot more worse remakes coming. I mean, that kind of came out at the tail end of like getting just like pummeled by remakes, and then that came out, and I was like, oh, that's actually pretty good. They used some practical effects. It was
it wasn't just a retread, really. Like they didn't try to do the Ash thing. It was kind of violent and scary. And I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. And
Ash isn't in this one, right? So they're like he's not even credited. I think Bruce Campbell is just executive producer, and that's it. So it's like he's not even in this one.
Yeah, the remake definitely, in my opinion, is better than the first 2 by far. That's not even a question. It's fact.
I just feel like
Is
without
that a
Ash,
fact,
those
boss?
movies are just not. I don't know. I like Evil Dead, but Ash is the whole thing. I don't.
Well, Ash vs. Evil Dead, I love that show, man. I thought that was a great like.
It was good.
It was good. I mean, I thought that was a good way to continue it because they were going to make a sequel to the 2013, and then that got scrapped for Ash vs. Evil Dead, and then here we are now after Stars canceled it, and it's like, you know, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, but again, that's interesting. They're going with the HBO Max route. They might do like a dual release, maybe still put it in theaters. So I feel like fans would want to see it, you know. But that'd be kind of a bummer if it's just HBO Max. But I'm a guy that still likes going to the theater, so.
Yeah.
Did anybody like hate the Evil Dead remake?
Dana did, but she didn't show up tonight.
Oh.
Oh man,
I can't remember what did Uncle Bill and what did you guys think of it? I don't remember what you were you guys doing Dead Pit when that one came out? That might have been after the first time you guys doing the towel.
That was 2013.
Actually,
you guys were still doing stuff.
Yeah, we were still. I think that
You were
was
still
the
going.
last Dead Pit on the Road episodes that we did, or one of the very last ones. I remember liking it. I haven't seen it since the Blu-ray came out, but I didn't have any problems with it that I can recall.
The more I've watched it, the more I've actually liked it. I mean, over time. But Mark, I don't think you like it.
no.
I get the feeling that you don't.
I saw his head shake, and he didn't look happy.
Yeah, dude, it's like it had everything, you know, going for it, but like the main thing for me was just the makeup effects. Like they didn't look possessed to me. Like that's kind of the thing in Evil Dead, you know, they're possessed, right? So like, just they looked like cosplay. I mean, where were the makeup effects like how we had in the previous, you know, trilogy? That's what I wanted. I mean, they don't have to look exactly like that, you know, but
they're outdated. That's probably why they're newer looking, because the old effects are just outdated for that time period.
oh god, here we go.
No, listen.
Outdated.
Shit.
Hey, it was filmed in Bulgaria.
Sometimes, oh wow. Well, sometimes less is more. Like when they had less, you know, stuff to work with, and they made these horror movies. You know, that's what made it special, and also just it was effective. It's not even just like that's all they had back then. It's like that's all they had back then, and it still looked fucking great. And it's, you know what I mean? And that's why like we always love those, you know, love going back and seeing those scenes of like seeing those effects. And I think, yeah, I know 2013 like took pride in that, like that movie took pride in like we are gonna, you know, use the practical and use all this blood. But was that not enough for you, stuntman? Where you're just like, nah, fuck it. It just didn't. It took you out of it. Like you weren't in it.
No, I mean, like, you know, it was great that, you know, it was stayed true to the whole like gore factor or whatever, but you know, I just didn't get that feeling like I did from the original trilogy or even the show. I mean,
Gotcha. Right.
It just you know, I just wanted a little bit more when it came to the possessed side of it. I wanted to, you know, buy into it a little bit more, but it didn't get me. Like, I mean, I think, you know, the ending's probably the best part to me. Like, I love the ending.
Yeah.
But
it was a pretty
everything
significant departure from the original franchise for sure. It was different, definitely.
Well, somebody mentioned this on here, like that the whole tone of the movie was completely different than any of the others. Like, I mean, all of the Evil Dead movies are kind of goofy and, you know, slapstick, and then the Evil Dead remake is like none of that. It's just like straight ahead. You know,
and I didn't
depressing.
care about that central character either. Like, we're supposed to care about like her having this detox, and just I'm good. I'll stick to the originals.
Yeah, like I don't know. Do you guys think that they'll keep the newest one like kind of serious like that, or because we had Ash vs Evil Dead, which kind of brought back the quirky, humorous side, but that's also because you had, you know, the cast of characters that had really good chemistry, you know, and it kind of worked very well.
If they
I was
make
going to
it
see
as
what this
good,
one looked like. No.
they need to make it as good as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. If they make it as good as that, it might have hope.
I still haven't seen that, but I mean, judging from the mass of the community, it doesn't sound very good.
Just don't watch
Go
it.
for
Do
it.
not watch it.
No, don't listen now. It's the best one in the franchise. Take it from me. It's the best one.
I'm gonna spit out my drink.
It's fucking
It makes
better than the original, that's for sure.
You know what's wild to me though still is like you can go in Walmart pretty much any time of the year and find Evil Dead on like Blu-ray or 4K or whatever, the original Evil Dead. And I remember me and Uncle Bill growing up, that movie, I didn't think that movie existed until I think when Anchor Bay came out with VHSs, I finally got a copy of that. I just think like people now are just so fucking spoiled about movies. Like anything pretty much that you want, if you can't stream it on YouTube, you can definitely go to the store and and buy it. It's just weird.
Yeah, you can get, like, when you're getting Thriller on 4K, everything's coming out on 4K now. Everything you can think of is on 4K. I'm not complaining necessarily, but I do wonder, how long is it until we get jaded on releases and announcements? You know, because it's kind of like every month you can expect at least one or two big titles from some company to be announced on either a Arrow special edition or a big 4K. So, like, how long do we have before we're just kind of like, oh, that's cool, and you know, you don't really care anymore?
Yeah, I guess it's like where you are in the in your collection. Like for me, like I have an okay Blu-ray collection, but some of these like I never got on Blu-ray, so I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna get the 4K now. So I'm kind of like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
like I can just buy that now. So I'm kind of in the middle, but I can see how it can get very tiresome when it's like the same movie over and over again, and there's not much being added to these editions, or they're like, you know, saying they're gonna make the quality look better, and it's not that good because you're just like, dude, what else can they do with this 16 millimeter or like whatever, you know what I mean? Sometimes you're just kind of like, that's all they can do. So
yeah, like
I think I still haven't the Thriller 4K, I still haven't watched that yet, but I'm anxious to see. Like, did you go back and look at the Blu-ray version versus the 4K, like their Blu-ray versus their 4K? Because
no, I didn't.
What do you
because
think?
I had never seen that movie before until this 4K release. So I didn't.
Did you watch the Brown Eye edition? That's the real question.
I did, of course.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got
perfect.
Yeah.
The uncut edition.
Yes.
So yeah. By the way, that is just, to be totally honest with you, the eye piercing scene. Okay, I'm just gonna say it right now. I was expecting more from that scene. I didn't think, like, it's not that bad. it's really not that bad. But I think
it's kind of messed up though that they did that with the legit corpse.
100%. That's messed up. Yeah, that's totally screwed up. But as far as visually, I was like, oh, that's what that looks like. Okay, it's real quick too. But the other inserts that they used in the movie were totally unnecessary.
What a fucking turn of phrase! Yeah.
Did you guys see the
inserts?
Did y'all see the Mission Impossible trailer where it showed the girl that was like? So they made a new Mission Impossible movie apparently, and I saw the trailer the other day. And there's a shot with a girl in it, and she's in the other movies, but she's got like the eye patch of a gun. And I was like, that's totally ripping off Thriller. Like when you look at it, you're like, that's definitely Thriller. You know?
No, I didn't see that. Looking at it now though, I got that sold out edition of Thriller, and kind of looking at it, like, if I would have known that they were going to do just that standalone 4K of the uncut, I probably would have just waited until that came out and got that. But I did get the subscriber bundle, so I didn't really have a choice. I was going to get that limited one either way. But I kind of would. I'm looking at it and I'm like, do I really need this whole other Blu-ray 4K in there with it? I don't think so. Just my opinion.
Well, the reason I was asking though is that's a 16 millimeter movie, and it's the same remaster on the Blu-ray and the 4K. I think it's one of those cases where Vinegar Syndrome just put it out there on 4K because they could, and I would almost guarantee that you're not going to see any difference between the Blu-ray and the 4K of that at all.
I don't know. I mean, it looks fine on 4K. I mean, it does. I'm not going to complain about the picture quality. It looks good, but maybe I will have to pop in the Blu-ray and see if it's like, you know, do a side-by-side or something, but, you know, that's a lot of money.
I mean, I'm not saying it's going to look bad, but I just don't, I think the level of detail, it's just not, there's really no purpose for a 4K of that.
Yeah, I watched the Synapse Blu-ray and like on my 4K TV before I bought the Vinegar Syndrome one and got the package and everything. And like when I watched that, I thought it looked good. I was like, how can they really make this look better? And then I saw that they announced that, and that whole thing got pulled, the other Blu-ray, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to get 2 copies of this thing now because I, you know, spent money on the package.
But the original question too was, you know, basically like, are you tired of things going to 4K? Like, I think I'm at the point where I just don't give a shit about 4K. Well, at least not this last bunch of releases that like Scream Factory and Arrow and a bunch of people have done. Because it's like they put out, what did Scream Factory put out? They put out like The Howling and freaking
Alligator.
Alligator.
They Live and The Fog.
I'm just like,
The John Carpenter stuff, it was already out. Like if you just imported it, it's the same disc.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, I'm fine with like Blu-rays of any of that stuff. Really, like I don't need the 4Ks.
I got the Escape from New York, the big box. I didn't get the pins. I'm not that ridiculous about it, but I got the box. I mean, it looks great, but I didn't have a Blu-ray of it, so I was just, that's like one of my favorite movies. So I was like, fuck, I'll just go ahead and get the 4K of it.
I got the 4K standalone because I didn't have the Blu-ray either, and I was like, you know what? Let me just get it because I don't even own it on Blu-ray yet. So that was just kind of like a no-brainer for me. That's kind of how I'm going about the Scheme Factory ones. I'm like, all right, if I never had it before, I'll get it. But even then, I won't jump on it right away unless it's something I really like. I'll just wait for a sale because they never really have sales. But
that's definitely how I feel.
Well, Amazon. I mean, I think a couple of those on Amazon's like $22.99 or whatever.
Right.
So
way better than
that's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's how I feel about the Child's Play. Like I don't have those on Blu-ray besides
Me neither.
the first one. So I'm okay with getting the 4K.
But I want to get the Best Buy Steelbook because I collect Best Buy Steelbooks, and then the other ones aren't coming out on Steelbook, and I'm like, what the fuck? So yeah, I don't know.
Get them all.
I just
What do you
saw
think about the Friday the
first three
13th
Chucky
ones?
Movies. Oh, good. Sorry.
Friday ones? I don't
No,
know
you
what-
go. Go ahead.
I just saw that on Blu-ray.com that the Friday 4K is coming out in about, I think, 2 months on the 13th. And it's like, what's the point in releasing it solo? They did that, like, I
know.
guess it was more than like 10 years ago for like the original.
That's what
Blu-ray.
they did. That's what Paramount has been doing for years. I mean, if you remember the original DVD releases, right? They were all bare bones DVD releases. Then they did like 3 other re-releases, and then for like in the late 90s, early 2000s, they would release like 2 every year, and then you'd have to wait till the next year to buy the next 2. Yeah, that's just what they've done, I think, and they probably made an ungodly amount of money doing that over the last 2 decades, right? That's probably why.
From the same people like buying
if you're
this
gonna
stuff
put the
over
first
and
one
over.
out, like anyone that's gonna buy the first one's probably buying whatever sequels you put out too. So like, don't make us wait. I hear you there.
Well, I think they're putting the first 3 out though now, and
I hope
the
so.
interesting thing about that, I believe
know
so.
that.
I believe
Good.
that. They're also doing the steel books of the original poster art, and they're at number 3 with the poster. The original poster art steel books. So they're kind of. I mean, they can release 2 different versions simultaneously if you want the artwork in the steel book on Blu-ray, and then the 4K.
I know you guys were lighting
Separately.
up the Child's Play releases. But I'm stoked for those. 2 and 3 have never really had special editions. They have a ton of new like bonus content. I just saw the first 3 Child's Play movies in a theater a couple weeks ago. They showed the first 5 at Quentin Tarantino's theater.
I saw that on the
nice.
website because I'm going to be out in Cali in August, and I was trying to look at the schedule, and I saw that they were having the Child's
Dude,
Play
it
thing.
was dope. I didn't make it through all 5, but the first 3 looked fucking stellar on 30. Like the prints they had were amazing. So
That's
if they
awesome,
did,
man.
if they did new scans from the original negative for those, they'll probably look unbelievable. So I'm excited for those, honestly. I know you guys kind of gave them some crap, but at least, especially 2 and 3, because 1's had a ton of content over the years. 2 and 3, not so much. So they've got commentary tracks, new interviews, and new scans. I mean, even if you just wanted to buy the standalones on Amazon, to me, it's pretty good value. Now, buying the bundle with all the shit in it is another story. But
Listen, you got to buy the bundle. You ain't worth the fuck.
I bought the
If
bundle.
you don't,
I
get
got
the enamel pins. If you don't get a pin
My
set,
favorite.
The thing is,
posters.
you could sell those pins, man, and recoup the cost of the whole fucking thing. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
No.
Well, if you sell them on eBay, but then eBay takes their 30% or whatever.
Yeah, I know. They kill you on eBay.
No, I mean, I didn't. Part 2 and 3 and the whole like Child's Play thing. I don't think we gave them that much shit about that. I just don't think that we were gonna like buy them or anything just because. I mean,
You guys
for me
own them
personally-
so many times, yeah.
Yeah, like I already own like all those movies, but I mean, I know that I'm just not what's the word, like that big of a. Well, I'm a pretty big Bride of Chucky fan, but like in terms of like 2 and 3, I'm not that huge of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got them on
Chucky's outstanding.
VHS, but that's it. I don't even have them on like DVD.
Yeah.
I wonder why they're not doing Bride and Seed. I mean, if Universal
Well,
licensed the rights to 2
Yeah,
and 3.
They'll do that
I
next
want
year,
to see
probably.
Chucky on 4K. Damn it!
Well,
Seed of joy.
I think that.
Yeah.
I honestly think like the thing with me and those Chucky, the Child's Play movies is that big box set was like $20 forever, and I've got it, and I'm like, if I want to watch the movies, I can watch the movies.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Like, it's not that I don't care about those movies, but when it comes to like commentaries and extras and shit like that, I really don't, I just don't care.
Yeah.
So I
yeah.
mean, I would never watch those anyway. So I have the movies, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I would never watch those. They would just sit on my shelf like a lot of my other movies.
I think that
what's the
first
point in
one's
getting them?
awesome, but the 2 and 3. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it's like at the time, that was so cool. Just like when he comes to life and he's like screaming at the mom, and I mean that was crazy as shit when that came out. But now it's just like you see it, and then they did all the sequels. I mean, it's cool, but I don't know. I think the first one's enough for me. Like as far as rewatching them, I don't know.
The show is horrible.
I don't know. I like the second one. That's my favorite.
Same. I love the second one. That's mine.
The second one's the best. Like,
Yeah.
so I was saying I just saw it in a theater.
Needed
So that
the
theater
best.
was completely packed. At the end sequence when the doll explodes, that fucking place cheered like it was fucking the greatest film ever, the greatest cinematic
That's cool.
achievement.
Yeah,
ever.
you know what? Like parts
That's
2 and 3 would be awesome with a theater with an audience.
Yeah,
I
they're
just
they're
feel
fun.
like-
They're fun movies.
Yeah, I gotta see once they put out the August schedule and see what they have lined up. See when I'm
Dude,
there.
So next week they're doing it's like a summer camp slash-a-thon, right?
God
so they're
damn.
showing like 4 or 5 movies on 35. They're not saying what they are until you show up.
Oh, damn.
So I'm looking forward to it. I'm
That's
hoping
cool.
to get like The Burning and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday.
You may
2,
get some really
Mad
obsure
Men.
shit. Did you
Like
say
a
this was
sleepaway
Tarantino's theater?
Yeah, so Quentin
in LA, right?
Tarantino owns a theater called the New Beverly Cinema in LA, and they do stuff like this all the time. It's really cool.
Yeah, they put out shows like month in advance. They have the whole month blocked out with just like all shit you
I
can
got
go
a
see.
funny little story about the New Beverly Cinema and Quentin Tarantino on eBay. This has probably been 5 or 6 years ago. I used to sell off those 35 millimeter prints when we did those screenings at the Strand here when the Strand was open. Some of these prints were on there for literally years, and this one was the last one that I had left. Santa with muscles starring Hulk Hogan, brother.
That is so
And
awesome.
the New Beverly Cinema bought it.
That's
Paid
amazing.
full price. And I was like,
Well, yeah.
and I mailed it to the New Beverly Cinema. So,
That's
dope.
So honestly,
Round-
that was probably Tarantino buying that 100%. Because mostly the prints they show there, they will license, they'll rent them out from studios, but they show a ton of his prints from his personal collection that he screens there. So I guarantee you, he probably saw that shit on eBay and was like, "Yo, buy that."
Oh yeah, immediately. Yeah.
What you gonna do, brother?
So the local theater where I am, they're showing it's Belcourt in Nashville. They do these mystery showings, and at the end of the month they're doing one, and they're teasing it's in late '80s wrestling classic. I think it's No Holds Barred. I don't know, but it's got to be No Holds Barred, right?
That's killer.
Nice.
You know?
I have a half of a print of No Holds Barred here at the house somewhere. It's not the full movie, but my buddy Adam, I think he still works in like doing screenings and stuff like that in North Carolina. He hooked me up with the Madman prints and all that stuff, really. But yeah, I would love to find the other 2 reels for No Holds Barred and keep them in the closet, I guess. You can't really do much with 35 millimeter prints around here.
Yeah, we gotta see if we can do a Dead Pit meetup at Mahoning, man. We gotta get this thing going.
That's true. I'd love to go out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think eventually we can make that happen. They did the, it was like one of the VHS, is it VHS Fest or something like that
Yeah.
they did this weekend?
Yeah, that just
And,
happened.
one of my friends from the Facebook and everything, Ben, was there, and he said that they had a pretty big turnout, and he wore the Carpenter shirt. I don't know if you've seen that. It's on the, and people seem to be digging that, the John Carpenter, Adrian Barbeau shirt.
Yeah, that's killer. Yeah, no, that place is awesome, and that's just the best experience to still get like 35 like on a drive-in screen. It's just really cool. I'm gonna try to go to Camp Blood in September because they announced that, so I'm gonna see if I can check those out. But those are always fun. They always sell out.
Scarefest in Lexington used to do 35 millimeter, and I think that theater closed though. That was another theater that closed down. That one that was in downtown Lexington. And we saw all kinds of killer shit over like 5 or 6 year span, midnight movies and stuff like that. But yeah, not really a whole lot of that around here anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. See the old shit,
So I got a question. I just
Go for it.
finished doing the Jaws series, Monday Night Jaws for those people that don't know. Aside from Jaws, if you took Jaws out of it, what's the best like killer animal film?
It's got to be Roar, right?
Yeah, I would actually kind of think that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I always
I
like
don't, although nobody got killed.
I always like
Monkey Shines. Monkey Shines got to be on the list, right?
I say Piranha Double D.
I actually don't mind that movie.
Yeah.
I don't mind that movie either.
Alexander Aja did the Piranha remake, right? Like,
Yes,
good
yeah.
filmmaker. That movie's
I
fun.
like the
Yeah,
original
those movies are
Piranha.
fun.
I like that.
It's not a horror movie, but I like Ghost in the Darkness, the one with Val Kilmer.
Oh yeah, where he's hunting the lions and all that, the killer lions. I forgot about
It's been a long time since I've seen that. Yeah,
Shout
I remember
Factory
that being
put it
pretty
out,
good.
I think. The Shot
Yeah.
Select released it.
There's a movie that Criterion put out, Samuel Fuller movie, The White Dog.
Oh
You guys
yeah,
seen that?
I have.
That's a pretty wild movie. It's on Blu-ray from Eureka. Criterion only has it on DVD, which I think is out of print. That's a very wild movie, but a lot of good actors in that movie, and I enjoy it quite a bit.
What about Cujo?
Tentacles?
That's one that Alpha.
Somebody brought that up. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
Cujo.
curious too.
Cujo's
Unless
good.
I'm crazy, isn't there a killer snake movie with Klaus Kinski in it? Like, is he in that, or am I confusing like two separate movies?
He's probably done a Killer Snake movie at some point. I don't recall though.
I swear to
Was
God,
he
I
in-
watched a killer snake movie. No, he wasn't in.
Is Stanley the new Vinegar?
I was gonna
Syndrome?
say, yeah, we just
Oh,
got
yeah.
Stanley in the package, right? That was the. I saw that cover. I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I've heard it's pretty decent actually. I believe that they actually killed real snakes in that movie.
Oh shit!
Oh, great! Here we
Kinda
go.
wild.
If it was
Of
made in the
course.
'70s, chances are they
So-
killed real animals somewhere.
Yeah. So
I've been watching
I think-
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I think Garrett Born to Be Rad is probably gonna do a commentary on that.
Yeah, definitely. He's doing that tomorrow. Probably.
Yeah,
I got this one recently at Goodwill. The
Back
Rat.
to the rats.
Nice.
I've never
Jesus.
seen
Oh,
it.
the Rats. Okay, I've heard of Rats, Knights of Terror, but not the Rats.
Well,
I've been watching some of those eco horror movies that Kino come out with, like 3 of them. They all came out in the 70s. They were TV movies. Ants was one. I don't know if you guys have seen that. And the interesting thing about, and there was one with bees in it. There was a lot of killer bee movies in the 70s. And there was Tarantula. There was the Tarantula movie, too. that they
the
did.
Deadly Cargo.
Yeah, the Deadly
Wasn't
Cargo.
that it? Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Atkins is actually in that briefly in the beginning of it. But anyway, like some of these movies, though, Ants in particular, like, I don't know how they convinced these fucking people to be covered with ants. Like, I couldn't do that. Like, Suzanne Summers was literally half naked and had probably 1,000 ants on her back. And I'm like, what? You couldn't pay me enough to do that. That would just fucking... If I see an ant, like, on my arm or something like that, I'm itchy and scratchy the entire damn day. Like, I can't deal with ants.
It's making me itch just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Somebody
I mean,
brought
how did-
Phase 4 too, though. That's a good killer
Yeah,
insect
Phase
movie.
4 is an ant movie, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I can't do bugs either. Can't do it.
I like that
But,
one with Peter Weller, the
welcome
Unknown
back.
Origin. It's a good one.
Which one was it?
It's was it of Unknown Origin? The one where Peter
Oh yeah. Peter Weller.
The Birds is
Yeah,
obviously
Garrett
a
puts that
classic.
movie over a lot. What about this? Isn't really a horror movie, but I remember this being very effective back in the day with Anthony Hopkins, The Edge, with the big grizzly bear. You guys remember that movie?
Oh yeah.
That
Never
was
saw
good.
that.
Somebody. Jeff Lieberman.
It's.
Squirm,
I remember
somebody
it being
brought
very
that.
well done back in the day. I don't know if it's aged well or what. It's been many years since I've seen it, but they legit had a trained grizzly bear for that movie. I don't know. But Cat in the Brain is another one. There you go.
Yeah. I don't know if that
Yeah,
one counts.
Bird with the crystal plumage, a crazy killer animal story.
Yeah.
Oh, another good one is Shakma. You guys remember that from 1990?
Oh, yeah.
The killer baboon.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Roddy
one.
McDowell's in that.
So yeah, there's a lot of good ones I hadn't actually thought about.
With Bigfoot, I mean, if you're going Bigfoot, you could say Night of the Demon, but I guess that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, the Bigfoot genre is like just a whole. I mean, still to this day, there's people out there that just search for Bigfoot movies.
Assault of the Sasquatch.
Gotta have that.
Yep.
Suburban Sasquatch. That's fucking.
Yeah. My favorite is probably still The Legend of Bigfoot. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was like, I think it was a public domain movie or something, and we had got it when I think Walmart was selling those $1 DVDs there for a while, and it was on there with something else. And it's just so fucking goofy. It's from the early 70s, I think. But there's a lot of, ton of Bigfoot movies. I think Legend of Boggy Creek is coming out in 4K this fall. Look forward to that.
One movie used to scare the hell out of me is that movie Frogs. Is that the one with Sam Elliott where they're on the island and the frogs and the snakes
think
start
so,
just
yeah.
attacking everyone? That scared the shit out of me because I lived in like the middle of Mississippi and I literally lived near a lake. So, oh my God, seeing that growing up, like that was, I just thought like that's going to happen to my house, you know? It was just horrifying.
Frogs are gonna mess you up.
Scared of frogs.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a Killer Turtles movie?
That'd be so awesome.
That would be awesome.
You'd just be waiting.
Rabid turtles.
Yeah.
I feel so sorry for turtles this time of year. I don't know if it's like that where you guys are. These little box turtles are like, they're always on the fucking road, man. I see them all the time. And I feel so sorry for those little bastards.
You take a picture of and send to Garrett.
Yeah. You'll just think about that turtle
He wouldn't
flopping. Yeah.
appreciate that.
He's got a turtle adoption agency.
He would
or
no
something out
sell
there.
that. He'd be like,
Yeah. Oh, man.
We need it. We need. Somebody said we need a killer possum movie. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
that would
check
go
that
over
out.
well.
Groundhog, killer groundhog too. You can do that.
Mm-hmm.
The Ants movie again, though, Uncle Bill. I think you need to check the Ants movie out because it's almost like if it's a zombie movie, but with ants. Is how I describe it. So the ants are coming after these people, and you'll see like random scenes of people just covered in ants and falling down and shit. I don't know.
I'm not sure
ridiculous,
why,
I
but
enjoyed it.
apparently, like the mid to late 70s were huge for like animal attack movies. I don't know what the deal was, but maybe it was Jaws. But it seems like there was some that came out before Jaws.
I think Jaws is what caused a lot of these to be made. Because the ones that I watched was like 77 and 78, I think, were the years they came out. And then Tentacles, I think, Eric mentioned that one. That was like a couple of years after Jaws, too. So
Yeah.
I think
All
just the
of them,
success of... Yeah, the success of Jaws is really like, these people were like, oh God, what's some more animals, bulls? Tarantulas, yes, let's do that one.
Yep.
Orca too, right? They did one called Orca, the killer whale.
Mm-hmm.
Night
That
of the
was-
Possum starring George Jones.
That's so cute.
I'd check that out. That'd be great.
I do like Night of the Possums. That would be funny. Like, we did have the Zombievers movie, so they could definitely do a fucking like killer possum movie of some sort.
Zombievers was great, so I'd be down for that.
You guys remember Night of the Lepus about the killer rabbits or whatever?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
classic. Check that
I
out.
totally
It's a really
forgot
good one.
Slugs. There was a Slugs movie. Yes, I remember Slugs. But yeah, if any of you guys got anything else or anybody in the chat, we can talk about whatever you guys want.
Which is your favorite horror movie poster in your collection?
Jesus.
Mine
That's
just
a
came in
tough
the mail a
one.
few days ago.
Well, I can answer
What
that.
is-
For me, it's my one sheet of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Bryanston films one. That's my favorite.
Nice.
That's a good one for sure.
Here's my 17th anniversary edition of the Fog remake poster.
Listen, he just asked that fucking question so he could whip out that damn Fog remake poster. That's the only reason he asked that question.
Oh my god.
So fucking set
Well, I
up.
think the big thing with
I just got
with
mine.
Curly Jaws,
Yeah.
Curly Jaws in the Fog remake too, is he's a big fan of Fallout Boy, and the moment when they
Right.
start playing that Fallout Boy song in there, he just I don't know, gushes.
Morphs into a 2007 emo kid.
Right.
Oh my
Welcome
God.
back, sir.
Yeah, my internet just shit the bed.
I've got a few hanging up in here. You can't see them, but probably the Halloween original one sheet for me. It's signed by pretty much the entire cast. Also have the Phantasm original. It's signed by, I think it is signed by the whole cast. So those two are pretty close.
Just my overall favorite for some reason, because I think the design of this poster is amazing, is the Maniac one sheet.
That's mine too. You
Great art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one.
I have a Lost Boys frame one sheet in my kitchen. I love that movie, but it has sentimental value to me because I've had it since I was really young. So it went with me to college, and then when I finished college, my first apartment, and then when my wife and I got our house, it's in our house. So plus, it's kind of an iconic '80s poster.
Mm-hmm.
It is, yeah.
I kind of feel like it's hard to collect original one sheets now because the prices have just went so
Yeah, it's
far
impossible
up
now.
since-
Yeah, I don't have
it's
any, and I
like-
looked and I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." I was like, the era
It's
of
like-
getting into this is done.
I swear to
The
God, that's
Jaws
true, though.
one
There's
sheet
like a
was-
time period that, yeah.
Yeah, the
I
Jaws
got
one
the,
sheet was one that I would always wanted, but it's unattainable now. It's like over $1,000
Yeah.
now, easy.
So expensive.
God. I
The
used
last
to be
one I
able
got
to
was-
go. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, the last one I got was I got a Nothing But Trouble 90s one. But and those are easy to find, like the video store ones. But like you guys were saying, like anything 80s or 70s, I mean, you're gonna pay if you want it, right? So
What's crazy
Circa,
too, because
I
some
would-
of the 90s stuff's gone up as well. I think Uncle Bill, there's one in particular you've been looking for. 90s
Oh,
horror
the-
movie.
You talking about the Scream original? Yeah, I mean, after the movie came out and everything, you're just screwed on that one. Like, you're not going to be getting that one for any decent price.
I have the original posters for Pieces, The Mutilator. Those ones are pretty cool.
Yeah, I
I
never
have, like,
like come
I
across
really
many
want-
conventions either.
I was
Which
going to
one?
say, I really want the Curse of Michael Myers one sheet. I think that's a really cool one sheet. But people are selling it on eBay for like $400. $100, and that's ridiculous for that.
People are so stupid. Where the fuck? It's like, but they're also selling like VHS tapes graded on eBay too for like $2,000. So I mean, there's not really.
Someone bought one. What was the one I saw recently? It was it Back to the Future or something, where someone paid like
I'm sure, yeah,
stupid amount for a graded VHS. That just, as someone who's a collector and a pretty serious fan, that I don't understand. I don't know why anyone would pay for a graded VHS tape.
I was just at the Goodwill, and I got a factory sealed copy on VHS of Beavis and Butthead Do America, and it's in perfect 85 cents. Okay, like I looked on eBay right away just to see what it was going for, and people have paid upwards of like $30 to $40 for that sealed.
Damn.
So I wonder if you got that graded on top.
If you get it graded, I guarantee. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. A few months ago, at the Goodwill here in Prestonsburg, and this is probably one of the dumbest things that I've ever done, and I didn't really even think about it. It was, God damn it, it was 9 to 5, I think, was one of them, and Baby Boom, maybe. It was old CBS Fox tapes, but they were sealed, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, hell, I mean, they're sealed, they're old, so somebody will pay. I put one up there for like $18 and one for like $35. Within 5 minutes, both of them sold. I'm not shitting you. Within 5 minutes, they were gone.
Holy shit.
So I'm thinking, man, like, I probably could have made a lot more money on those, not even thinking. But yeah, if I happen to see something like that again, I'll definitely, like new old stock stuff in particular, like if it's like from 85, 86 and still sealed like that and not like a newer edition, you definitely want to look into it a little bit more before you put it on eBay.
I got a bag of sealed tapes the other day from a lady down the road on Facebook, and most of it was just like 60s and 70s, like Westerns and like Terms of Endearment and all that shit, but there was a few in there like Sharky's Machine and Police Academy 2, a few odd ones. And like the one that I thought was going to go for a lot, there was a Star Wars, like an episode 2 sealed. And I don't give a shit about that, but I was like, oh, someone's going to pay for this. And it was still, it didn't go for like $5, but I'm like you, I always check eBay because I'm just like, you never know with those things.
Well, I think those movies that I had in particular, like none of them had been on there sealed. So you didn't really know what to go by. But yeah, definitely if somebody runs into something like that, do a little bit more research before you throw it on there, because it could be, I mean, there's some dumbasses out there that's going to pay some big money for some of this shit. I've been thinking about actually sending a couple of my tapes out to be graded just because they're, like, I've got one that's old Hulkamania tape that's still sealed, and it's actually in like mint condition. Yeah. And I've got a Tremors tape. I've got, I think it's an old Death Wish movie, still sealed. It's a media home entertainment one that's still sealed. So there's a few that I was thinking, but they're like, it's like $60 to get it graded. So that's kind of pricey.
Oh, that's crazy.
They definitely raised the price because they knew that people were starting to do, like, they raised it for cards, like baseball cards. They raised it for, comics. It's like all this shit is just getting higher to grade the shit now. It's crazy. It's just nuts.
Like some of them old wrestling cards are going for crazy amounts of money.
Oh man, I'm sure. Yeah, all the sports cards I think are just fucking shot right up.
If you're gonna get something like that graded, don't they look at like the perceived or possible market value and then charge you based on that, right? So like if they think somebody's gonna sell it for
I don't know
$1,000, they charge you a percentage to get it graded.
That's probably even crazier because then you're just paying more, like.
There's a couple of different places that does that. The one that I looked at was like, to get it graded, it was like 60 something a tape, and then you have to buy insurance and you have to ship it via FedEx or whatever. So it can get up there in price, but I mean, if you can throw it on eBay for $500 and somebody pays it,
yeah. After PayPal takes a cut, as long as you can make a nice chunk of change off of it, it'll be worth it. Especially because it's such a high dollar, like you said, like those sealed tapes once they're graded, it shoots right up. Like I showed this in the Patreon thing, but I came across this.
Man.
This is the rarest tape I own now, and this was just this thing is like shiny. It's all the flaps are here. It's I actually looked at the tape. It's legit. It's not the the reissued Wizard one, And this was just in a box of tapes that was just at this record shop that I always go to, and I was like, "What the fuck?" There was so much shit in there, man. I was telling you, Wes, I had to walk out. I was like, I can't, because I picked up this too, the Last House on the Left. I think this is the first releasing too.
Yeah.
And then I got Hills of Eyes. There was a lot more. There was The Exorcist, the green box. There was that one in there. There was a bunch of Herschel Gordon Lewis stuff. There was he had Tourist Trap with all the flaps. Put it up. It sold for $400 in like 5 minutes, like immediately. He had a bunch of stuff, man. And I was just like, I can't, like, I'm already late into getting into some of these VHS stuff, but like I thankfully got these three for like $100. Like he gave me a really good deal. And he was just like, he's like, give me an offer. And I was just like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, so yeah, I got that. And it's legit, man. So that's the rarest tape I own now is fucking Zombie out of the blue. I just went there to get a record, and then I ended up spending $100 more.
That's how it goes sometimes. For sure.
When you see that in the wild, you're like, because he bought this dude's horror collection. He traded in a bunch of shit. And it was just like, yeah, sometimes you can't wait on stuff like that.
You're talking about Tremors. So I sold a Tremors. I had a Tremors seal that I got like 2 years ago, and the problem is like the one that was on eBay that was going for a lot. It was going for like $300-$400, but it was like a certain version. Like if you look on the Universal, the way the little lenticular thing is when you look on the bottom. And I had people messaging me, and they were like, "What's the date? What's this? What's that?" And I didn't know what they were talking about. Mine sold for like $70 or something, but depending on the version you have, you might have like a really expensive tape if you have that. I don't know which one it is. Yeah.
Let me go check.
You might have some.
Yeah, do that.
You never know.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a copy of Halloween on VHS that Media put out, and it was before they were called Media. They were just called Meta, MEDA, and that tape goes for like thousands of dollars.
I'm pretty sure did they put out the Tourist Trap one? I forget who put out the Tourist Trap one, the first one. That might have been the same company. I'm trying to see if I can find it here.
And I know those tapes are really rare because then I think they were only Meta for like a year or so. And then they rebranded and put all the tapes out as Media. And that Halloween tape that says Media is still worth a lot too, but it's like yellow. It's a yellow tape.
I gotta say that the Tourist Trap poster art has to be some of the coolest original poster art that I've ever seen. I mean, that box art for that. So good. I need to get a T-shirt of that. If one of these companies needs to, I don't know if it's been done yet. I think there's been some like alternate artwork or some commissioned artwork done, but I need to get that original poster art on a shirt or something because I just love that poster art so much.
That's an classic too, really.
Yeah, Media did put out that first tape of Tourist Trap. Yeah, so that's the original. 1984 is when that came out.
Well, speaking of this was a decent find. I just got this from Dollar General yesterday. It's To Live and Die in L.A. on Blu-ray.
Nice. Now, that's a fantastic movie.
So I have never seen it, but I'm a big William Friedkin fan, and I'm telling you, UB, you got to do Fridays with Friedkin. Okay, no. You got to do it.
I've already figured it out. It's weekend at Friedkin's.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Listen, I'm not joking. That's next weekend. I don't know what day, Saturday or Sunday.
Dude, like
Warbur's releasing a 4K of that. So if you ever want to flip the Blu-ray later, you can.
So I was gonna say that's like the catch on this is it was $5 at
that's
Dollar General.
A steal because I sold my copy because I know the 4K is coming. I sold it for like $35.
Well, listen, the catch with this is it doesn't have the DVD in there. The DVD has all the special features on it. There's not a single special feature on
what the hell?
So I wasn't really paying attention because I just kind of saw this and I was like, oh crap! Like I'll buy this, and then I get home and I look, and it says Blu-ray disc only included, and I just wasn't really thinking because I didn't read the back. But yeah, like, so the DVD's not in there. I bet you somebody will still buy it, like, for maybe $15-$20 maybe, just for the Blu-ray. But
that's worth it just for the film. You'll like the movie a lot. It has a really good, it has like a signature Friedkin like car chase kind of sequence in it too. Willem Dafoe is really good in it. So I was really impressed by that.
I'll definitely be getting that on 4K for sure. But this is going to hold me over, and I will get rid of it. It sucks that the DVD's not in there because it has a making of documentary. But you know, I was just kind of like, for $5, you know, I can at least get 10 or 15 out of it if I want to sell it.
Yeah.
But I grabbed the Tremors video, John. The only thing I'm seeing, it's definitely in the 1990 release.
Yeah.
And it's got this watermark on the side.
There's something about the watermarks, because I sold a Coming to America. I had a Coming to America from 1990, and I thought, that's like a $10 tape, and I put it on there, and I had all these people messaging me going, hey, is the watermark down here? What's the date? And I was like, what are they talking about? And apparently it's like this whole thing about like original release VHS is like way more rare. And so like, and the one I had wasn't as rare, because so it's the same thing with Tremors. Like there's one version that's a little more common, and then there's one that's on eBay right now. I think it's sold for like $250 or so. So I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what to exactly look for, but I know it has something to do with like being like the original pressing of it, like the first date they ever put it out. So.
Yeah, see if you can go back and look, because the only thing I'm seeing, 1989 Universal Studios on the front, and on the back it's 1990. And then that watermark, that's the only thing that I'm seeing.
Do you have the MCA logo? Is the MCA watermark going all the way down on the back, on the right?
It's like there's 3 logos in the center.
Yeah, like
the
that.
Watermark is a huge deal, evidently.
Does it look like that?
Yeah, but it's on. It's the same logo, but it's on the side. Yeah.
Hey, it might be worth putting on then. That might be the right one.
Is that on the shrink wrap? That MCA logo? Is it like, okay, so maybe his is just kind of like off to the side. You know, maybe that's just the way it was put on there.
No, it means something.
We're gonna do it.
Also, if anybody's
extra $200 because it's on the side.
Cha-ching.
I've got two sealed Harry Potters as well. The Sorcerer's Stone. I'm sure those will be worth nothing. My goal is, when I see these Harry Potters, is I'm going to try to get, like, I don't know how many Harry Potters they had on VHS, get the whole set, and then put the whole set sealed on eBay and try to get like $300 or something.
They probably only had 2 or 3 maybe on VHS.
Mm-hmm.
Check this one out, though. This one's really cool. Like, this would be one that I would probably keep, actually. I don't know if I could sell it. It's the sealed Hulkamania tape.
Wow.
Right. And it's got the Coliseum video watermark on the bottom.
Damn.
That's really cool.
So that's pretty cool. And this is 2 more here. Both of them are Goodwill specials. This one I thought I was going to like make some serious money on, but it's really not worth that much because this was a crazy popular movie. The African Queen sealed with Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn. And this is a CBS Fox tape, still sealed, right? But evidently, like, they made a fucking ton of these movies on video. So it's not, I don't think it's really worth a whole lot. It's got the watermark there. The watermark, yeah. And then the last one, which I think is a really cool one, but it's Media Home Entertainment and Video Treasures. It's Charles Bronson, Murphy's Law.
Nice.
And that one's sealed. All at Goodwill, boys.
Damn.
Yeah, see, so if somebody buys this sealed Beavis and Butthead to America, not only do they get the movie, but they get a $5 mail-in rebate. So, you know, you can't skip out on that, man.
That's right.
But this was like a Sam's Club. It says Sam's Club $8.99. So apparently that was, you know, where they sold this at. But it's still got like the strip on the bottom and everything. So 85 cents, I couldn't pass it up.
Yeah, and for the way these tapes are selling now, I mean, hell, get it. You never know.
Yeah.
You might be able to retire on it, you know.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the new Beavis and Butthead movie?
I just watched it last night. Yeah, and to be totally honest, it's pretty funny.
Hilarious.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I really liked it.
It literally is like if they would have made another sequel to Do America in like the 90s, it would be this movie. It felt just like of the time and everything. It's hilarious.
That's what it should be. You know, it should feel of the that time and not
What is
today's
it
era.
on? Like, where do you watch
It's
it?
on Paramount Plus.
Oh, okay.
And then they've got new episodes of Beavis and Butthead coming too.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Pretty cool.
The movie's
I haven't heard a whole
definitely
lot
worth
about that. I'll have to check that one out for sure.
It's worth signing up for a free trial of that just to watch that movie. It's really fun.
You guys have made me go get a bunch of tapes now.
Yeah, shit.
Busting out the tape.
The biggest one that I ever sold was the Punisher. I sold a Punisher one for like 150 once.
Ready? I have something to connect to that right there.
There you go. Yeah.
I got this one too.
This shit's turning into Beckett all of a sudden.
Was that Return of
Let's
the Living
price
Dead
all this
Part
shit.
2?
Nice.
Oh no, I'll take
No,
those.
I used to have every one of those.
Nice. I got to get part 6
Son of a
and I
bitch.
think I got to get 6 and I think part 3 I think or 4.
I have
No,
part
not part
6 sealed.
Oh shit.
These are my favorite video store memories, so I had to get these.
Oh yeah, those are burned into my brain. Seeing those covers, like, have to get them. Classic.
Yeah.
Man, I think
That's
I
my favorite.
actually found a sealed copy of Return of the Living Dead Part 2 at Goodwill also, but this was so many years ago that, believe it or not, I actually opened that tape.
Nice.
So like,
Oh,
I just opened the bottom of it.
All
Neat.
flaps
The
included.
Halloween is dope.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh man.
yeah, that one right there is pretty valuable now, isn't it? The Halloween media one.
Is that the first Halloween 2 one? I need to get that one.
No, that MCA did a copy of Halloween too.
okay.
This is actually Good Times,
Oh
Yes,
wow.
no.
Good times.
but this is the original Halloween 3 tape.
Nice.
That's the one my video store had. Had that one.
And then same with Halloween 4 CBS Fox.
Lovely.
I would like to find that one sealed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, part 4 and 5. That'd be sick just to have those sealed.
Oh hell yeah.
Maybe someday. I doubt it, but
No.
No, not Resurrection.
No, goddamn it.
Oh,
that's hard to
man.
believe.
Trick or treat.
Resurrection had a tape. What year would Resurrection would have been? What
2002.
2000?
Theatrically, it was
Okay.
released in 2002. So
Yeah.
So the videotape was probably late 2002, early 2003.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to like get more of the horror VHS, but again, it just depends on like how I stumble upon it and what I want to spend on it. It's like
That's the thing with me.
yeah.
Like, I'm not going to go online on eBay searching for these tapes because the prices are already going to be, they're going to be reseller prices. So the way I think about it is like, it's just like that. Like if I come across it and it's a decent price, like in person, then maybe I'll pick it up. But you're kind of on the losing end of the battle if you're just going on eBay looking for tapes. Like you're going to be paying out the ass.
Yeah, there was a time period, like I was saying, where you could go on there and actually get bundles of that stuff for relatively cheap. Posters, VHS, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays, you just have to find it somewhere, like at some store,
Dude,
or Goodwill or something.
Probably most of like the best finds for me was at Goodwill here in Prestonsburg. Holy shit, is that sealed?
It's not. So it's open on the bottom.
Yeah, still though.
That's
still
like
pretty,
nice.
That's pretty
nice
neat.
shape.
This is kind of funny when I found Meatballs 3.
Oh, God.
We had a video
Yeah.
store where I live, and they literally just recently stopped renting out VHS tapes. I don't know who was renting them, but then they sold all of them. So I got like a ton of VHS tapes from them, and I mean, they had a lot of really good stuff.
Damn.
Like all the Halloween movies, all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Holy shit.
And then I got a lot of other movies from my friend who collected for a long time, and he was, you know, he has everything on Blu-ray, so he gave me all his tapes too. So,
damn, that's
Very
how you
cool.
got to score. You know, like just to avoid those online prices, you just got to come across the treasure of someone getting rid of
Well,
them, or a video store, you know, selling them.
Honestly, like 20 years ago, nobody wanted tapes. Like it was,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure unless it's like really obscure stuff. But like the Friday the 13th movies, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, movies like that, nothing, man. I remember like Goodwill in Prestonsburg. I remember getting The Burning on videotape for $1 at Goodwill.
oh man,
Like 3 of the Friday the 13th, all of them still had the cellophane on them, and part 6 was still sealed at Goodwill.
Wow.
And I remember Uncle Bill, I don't know if you still got these, but I remember you bought, like, it was a fucking box full of the novelizations, like Halloween book novelizations.
Oh yeah, I've got all that
Harry.
still. Yeah.
Yeah,
those are
dude.
cool.
dude, I would
Those are
kill
worth
for
quite
those.
a bit, too.
You got the Friday 13th Part 6 one that has his dad in there or whatever. That's written in the end.
I can't.
They
even
have, like,
remember
all
what
kinds
I
of
had.
odd random ones, too. I remember the Halloween ones are worth quite a bit of money, actually. Especially there's a couple of different versions of the first one, and both of those are worth crazy money.
Yeah, if you got the one where the kid's in a sheet with a pumpkin head, that one's very expensive. It's like probably $400 or $500.
Not surprising.
Hot damn.
I almost
I did
almost
find,
got this one, but I
Nice.
kept it though.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I decided to keep it. I was going to, but then I was like, I don't know. I don't know if that's really on any other releases, so I was like, I better just hold it. So.
This was another odd pickup I got too on cassette.
A cassette tape.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this goes for like around $90 I saw, but like you can't really find a lot of listed on there. And I don't collect cassettes, but again I saw it and I was like, fuck it. So
That's a random item, you know.
yeah, yeah.
And occasionally, like I'll find weird shit like that too that I don't really collect. Like, and it's just odd because it's not on eBay either, and you don't know what to do with it. I just hung on to it. It was Fleetwood Mac Rumors 8-track sealed. From like
Damn.
whatever year that came out.
Oh my god.
And I was like looking, I was like, it's not on eBay. I can't find any that's sold on eBay. So I'm just going to fucking hang on to it and see, you know. We got a new one in here. What's going on, Dana?
Hey.
Hey guys, not much. Of course, I've been sick, but I was feeling a little better, so I thought I'd drop in here and see what you guys were talking about.
Right now we're talking about
a little bit
VHS
of
tapes,
everything.
Dana. You got any of them?
Yeah, I've still got a few VHS tapes, but I really don't know where they are right now because when I moved in with Steve, like a lot of my stuff stayed in boxes, and it's in a closet somewhere, and I don't know where it's at right now, and I don't know what I have really.
Yeah, you're in the same position I am. Like most of this stuff is storage somewhere in there.
Yeah, I've got my stuff like kind of boxed up in drawers in the other room and all that. I've got some pretty good stuff though. Like I was thinking about selling it, but I'm like, I would probably totally regret it if I sold it because you know, I've got like anything now is worth, like if you've got that Troll 2 videotape, that's worth money now. You know, pretty much anything you can think of in the genre, like it's gone up.
But kind of like what you guys said, and when you guys with Garrett did like the Anchor Bay shows, and you were talking about how when like once those DVDs came out, like it was like certain people just dropped the tapes. They're just like, yeah, I'm done, or they sold off the collection, and you know, because it was so superior with the quality, you're jumping into like different territory really, and I think that's kind of what got people out of the VHS game, and then they see how much they're worth now. They're like, God damn it, I should have held on to it or whatever. But yeah, it's like space is a big thing as to why people get rid of the tapes, and then you know, then DVDs were too much space and everything. So it's just it keeps going from each little format. But yeah, tapes definitely are bulky for sure. You know, I can't even keep mine out either. I don't even have a lot either, but it's like I have all this shit behind me and I got vinyl records. It's like, forget about it. I can't even display it right now.
Well,
so
it's hard to believe, but like there was a period of time in the 90s where nobody ever thought like that vinyl would make a comeback. I mean, everybody was into CDs and like, I mean, they thought, oh my God, like that's the end all be all of whatever. Nobody would have guessed that would, come back the way that it has. Same thing with VHS. Like when DVD came along, like they gave a shit about VHS tapes. Like, and then now I swear to God though, I think there's some truth in thinking that DVDs will come back somehow or another. Like people will like want to start collecting DVDs.
That's kind of why I want to hang on to some of the Anchor Bay DVDs I find of the horror stuff. I'm like, just in case, like, it's like, I have some nostalgia with some of those releases too, but like, I also like, I don't know, you never know, and I guess if you're a fan of one particular franchise, you want to hold on to those releases, of all of those, whatever movies they are,
Oh,
yeah. If you had to pick one Anchor Bay DVD, what would your all-time favorite Anchor Bay release be?
I mean, it's easy for me.
The Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, I would say Dawn of the Dead. I don't even own that, and I know that's like the best one. I always wanted that thing.
But I tell you,
Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
That was. I think the coolest release was. I mean, in terms of packaging.
You better be bringing out that wood.
Just in terms of like how unique that is from everything else, that's probably my pick for that.
I would say the Book of the Dead. I think that was the coolest package that they ever did.
Aren't people having problems with like that stuff's like rotting now? Or it's like,
you know what? I still have that it's in my parents' house somewhere, and like the materials like rotted out. Yeah, for sure.
Damn.
If I had to pick one though, I would say I would pick the Near Dark release because
that's awesome.
I had never seen that, and when they Anchor Bay put that out, that was my first time seeing it. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I missed this fucking movie, because the only release before that was that HBO VHS. So I'd never got around to seeing it, and I remember it had like the hollow foil cover, and then it had Felsher's liner notes. When you open up the booklet, had like a nice 45-minute long documentary, and that's the Blu-ray. I think the Lionsgate put out like that stupid Twilight cover Blu-ray release of it, which
I sold mine like an idiot.
It's out of print. You could probably sell it, but even the transfer on that isn't even very good. That movie is in desperate need of a remaster.
Well, I thought that 4K was going to come out, so I was like, I'm just going to sell this. And I sold it, and it's still not out. I'm like,
yeah, I'm afraid to let that one go because I don't, I think they said Studio Canals did a transfer or is doing one, but there hasn't been any info.
Yeah, they're still working on it. I think I think the transfer is done and all that, but I think they're just working on the release, right?
I hope so, because
I think
that movie needs a proper release. I saw a 35 millimeter print of that one like 3 or 4 years ago, and it looked fucking gorgeous. It was a beautiful print. And Adrian Pastar and the Homer showed up and did like 20 minutes of Q&A too, like unannounced. It was awesome. But the film looked so beautiful. So hope it gets a re-release.
Cool. I'd heard something that I was wanting to mention, like DVD is still outselling Blu-ray. I think I'd heard that, like, which is kind of odd. I mean, I guess like overall for, most of the United States, nobody upgraded from DVD. I don't know of any of those people. I mean, most of the people that I know just completely got rid of their players.
Most people I know don't give a shit about movies on any format and will just stream or just don't care.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to tell you the difference between a DVD and a Blu-ray.
No.
Well, that whole thing, that has to be, do you think that's because of like places like Walmart and Best Buy, just like the general person kind of going in there and just like, if you're into movies at all, like if DVD is still outselling Blu-ray, I would think it would have to be due to just the fact that people are able to just walk into Walmart and there's just like, they have a lot more DVDs still, I think, than they do Blu-rays. So people are just kind of picking those up that aren't really, they're not collectors, I wouldn't think, but that's kind of surprising because I haven't bought a DVD and I don't know how long. I mean, it's been many years.
Well, like my wife doesn't get it when I try to show her like 4K versus Blu-ray. She understands it's better, but like she doesn't really care. She's kind of just like, oh, I'm just gonna get this movie. And I think it's just I don't know if it's ignorance or what it is, but it's like you said, it's like it's available, and they just, if you're not a collector, you just don't. A lot of people just don't even think about it. They're just like, oh, I just get the movie, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
right. I think that like we're all kind of trapped in nerd land. Like if you took us, like if you look at the bigger picture of it, like nobody really gives. There's a small group of people that gives a shit, like a huge group of people that just like.
And even someone that's going to buy a movie on a physical format, probably the vast majority of them, like if they're just like, oh, I need to get this movie as a gift, or like my significant other and I want to watch this tonight, they're not thinking about like, oh, well, what's the best possible presentation of this movie for me to enjoy, right? They don't. It's not even a factor.
Yeah, collectors like us, we invest into equipment, nice, stuff. Like usually, like we kind of have attention to detail. Like we actually put a lot of effort into it, and other people just. They don't care. They just want to get, the Walmart TV mounted on the wall. You could do whatever you want. I mean, it's your home setup, but I think people like us, we care a little bit more about the experience overall.
Definitely. Something else to think about too, though, is a lot of that generation too. I mean, think about when DVD first came out, like 25 years ago or whatever. It took a long time for that to catch on, and it kind of caught on for a while, and then it just kind of died off. But like the big thing then was you could see these movies in widescreen, right, for the first time digitally or whatever else. So like that was a gigantic leap from VHS to that digital format there. And honestly, like, I mean, for us that we know what we're looking for and everything else, like we're going to definitely see a difference between Blu-ray and DVD. But for the common person just wanting to actually watch the movie itself, I don't think a lot of people really gives a shit about it being HD or whatever else. They probably couldn't even tell the difference.
I would say the vast majority of people don't even really know that like a streaming service has lower quality than physical media.
No.
And furthermore, I'd say they don't even give a shit. Like I would say, they have no idea.
They're not as picky as Don May, who'll like make fun of you for having a DVD in your collection.
No.
But there must be a market because these companies are all putting out good, a lot of them are putting out quality stuff and they're successful. So, there's still a market for physical, obviously, but
it's much lower though, I believe now. Yeah. I mean, it's like the limited editions now are like 6,000 versus like when Anchor Bay had like 50,000 limited editions. Yeah. It's just a smaller, I mean, the people were crazy for it, right? But there's not as many, I don't think.
A lot of these older DVDs, you don't realize how bad they look until you play them. Because a lot of mine I'll rip to my computer just to have, and I'll play them like during work, and they're just horrible. Like I was watching that Corey Feldman, that National Lampoon's Last Resort, and it's like an older DVD. It looks like shit,
that's a blast from the past.
It is so bad,
especially on modern TVs. Like even if you watch it on a DVD on a modern TV, like an older one, you're like, shit, this is. You're not watching it either on a CRT or just like a during that era there was just different types of TVs and just it was all presented in different ways. Now it's a lot more streamlined.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just like, all right, you got to pay. And then I think the biggest thing is like. We buy stuff because we want to make sure we have it and it's like the edition that we want, and it's not going to be on some streaming service where it's like cut or edited or not the full thing or it's like dumb. And I think that also plays into a part of like why we're in this circle of collectors, because it's like we just like to own it and it's always there. No one's going to come into your house and take it off your shelf unless someone does, but that movie's going to be there. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be there for you it's not going to disappear. Like a 70s, like obscure film, you have it. And that's why we want to keep it. Shit like that might not exist on services 20 years from now. You know what I mean? They don't. Or
your internet service provider, like mine did the other day, accidentally cuts a fiber optic cable and you don't have internet for a day.
Yeah, what are you going to watch?
Yeah. My wife's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? I can't watch TV. And I was like, there's like, I got 1,000 movies in there.
Yeah. Bust out the TV show box sets or whatever you got to do just to, kill the time. Yeah. It's just, I think that also plays a part of it. It's just preserving the shit that we like. because we like a lot of, horror exploitation shit. And that's just like how much of that will exist on, the services years from now, maybe the popular ones, but who knows, unless there's other companies or the boutique labels do their own little service to keep those movies on somewhere. But
yeah, those servers, I mean, they're just, because you think about any of those movies in the cloud, they're just in some data center and that shit goes down or something.
Someone posted in the comments, and there was an article I saw where like Sony is pulling some Studio Canal films from their digital library. So like if you bought it on the PSN or whatever, like you can't watch that content anymore after a certain date, right? Which because there's like a licensing issue with it. So I mean, you run that's not a risk if you own a disc, right? You own the disc, you could watch it.
Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't seen a lot more of that actually.
Yeah, me
with
too.
all these different providers that's out there, because you can buy like movies on Amazon, Vudu, just a variety of different streaming. Like pretty much all the streaming networks also sell movies too, I think, don't they?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how it works, but
Yeah, I mean that's another good point too that Mel brought up, which is that they're editing some physical releases, like certain shows. The Blu-ray set is different than the DVD set. And
that Friends Blu-ray set doesn't have. Apparently, it's not the full scenes, and everyone kept telling me about that. I'm like, what? Now I got to go out and get the DVD. Like my friends were like, that's not the full one. I'm like, I just got it for like $50 on Black Friday. I guess I'm just gonna stick with the Blu-ray. Like it's better than going back and getting those DVD sets, Well,
but
I don't know.
Here's what I'm thinking. The way things are now, if there's like certain shows that haven't been released that are getting ready to be released and where everything's so fucking hyper PC now, like I can totally see them cutting out like some episodes if they're too whatever.
Right. Yeah,
dude,
exactly.
what would they do?
So you better hold on to that shit.
Yeah, what the hell would they do if they re-released All in the Family on Blu-ray? Like, how much would be cut out of that?
Oh my god!
It would just be the opening and the
Some
ending.
of the stuff that they still have from like the Attitude Era that they still have on the wrestling service or whatever, whatever. I forget who owns that shit now. Peacock. Yeah. I was just like, man, they still have this shit up here, and it's just hilarious. Like some of the shit, you're just like, man, this is just funny that this is still up here. It's good that it is, but I mean, even that stuff will go away in time.
Yeah, they've edited some stuff, I believe.
Yeah,
I know there was Roddy Piper. What was it, WrestleMania 6, where he had like the black face on. They took it
the
off.
Bad News Brown match.
Yeah, they edited that completely off, and it's like, I mean, who is the person that goes through and says, okay, that's not acceptable now, or whatever else, and like, who is paid to do that? Like, is it taken 30 years for that to be offensive? It should have been offensive when he fucking did it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of offensive stuff on the wrestling shit back in the day, and it was just like they were just like, all right, yeah, this is, we're in the 90s or it's whatever, it's like now it's just, and now when you try to find those old wrestling DVDs, forget about it. Talk about shit shooting up in price. Like, that's just, even though they blurred out some, the WWE, they had to put that over the logos, but even then it's like you at least have it in an uncut format,
Right.
Yeah. Like the old Nitros are on YouTube, and you can actually watch those with the commercials sometimes. But yeah, that's so much out of that. And then like they'll do stupid shit like Chris Jericho's entrance. They'll put like the WWE song.
That's always funny when they do that. It just comes out to like the wrong music. You got Hulk Hogan coming out to like different music. You're like, God damn it! Like, what the hell?
Speaking of WCW, though, I did want to see what you guys thought of this. So, Vince McMahon ended up paying more for Poontang Pie than he did for WCW. What do you guys think of that?
That's a hell of a way to put that.
Yeah, I think I just heard Jim Cornette say that on a recent show.
I mean, I think we're going to find out all the details about that pretty shortly here.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he appeared on TV, because he was just like the other week. He was like, that's it.
Yeah. I really think that
he's going on there as much as he can.
I know that a lot of people don't agree with this, but I feel like the Owen Hart thing, that should have ended him. Like when that happened and they kept that show going, there's no way if that was any other company, that shit would have tanked that company. But it's just like, it's all been proven that he like was negligent with the cable riggers and all that stuff. And I don't know, man. he's just gotten away with so much,
Yeah, the only part about that surprises me is that anybody is surprised. Like, if there's anybody that's surprised that he paid that much money over those years, you got to be kidding me. Like, I thought that was pretty common knowledge that he was constantly, like, doing shit like that.
Well, I was just assuming that Linda made him happy enough where he didn't even think about it anymore.
How are you?
It's going to make for a good documentary in a few years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're already
Well, they were in the
working on
middle.
that now.
Netflix was in the middle of it already, and I think they canceled it. Like, whatever, they've spent millions on it, and they're like, no, we're not moving forward with this, no. So, I mean, they could sell it, I guess, to somebody like, I could see Vice or somebody like that maybe want it.
Yeah. And then the Rita Chatterson thing, remember that with the referee that like sued him back in the 80s, I think?
Yeah.
There's been so many, I forget about them, but he's kind of just, like he's paid them off. I mean.
Well, I mean, does anybody, just let people forget, he covered up a murder. Like, I feel like if he did that, then he would have no trouble, like, paying off.
Well, I mean, that's never been proven. You better watch it, Uncle.
Come on.
Look, we don't need to call Grover for something like this.
Are you talking about the Jimmy Snuka thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to have any trouble paying
Well, look
off.
at it like this. He paid Snuka's daughter has worked there forever and never done a damn thing hardly, too. So he's got loyalty to the whole family there for some reason.
Yep.
So I don't know. They may have something on Vince too. Who knows?
Snuka lived in like South Jersey, I think, towards the end of his life. So he was like 10 minutes away from where I'm at. And I was like, what the fuck? Why did he end up in South Jersey at one point? But that's where he was. He used to like come in the stores and shit. People like, oh yeah, like Snuka comes in here. I'm like, what? That's crazy.
I think the only way they can get him right now is apparently if it's his money that he was using, he's fine. But if in any way the accounting shows that he was using WWE money to pay those women, that's how they can get him. It's like just an accounting thing, basically. So I don't know if that's, something they can prove, but,
I'd say he's done, though. I mean,
yeah, it's over with.
Honestly, like, they probably need some sort of new creative in there anyway.
They really do.
They need some sort of new system because it's been going downhill pretty steadily for at least the last probably 10, maybe 15 years or longer,
Yeah, that it's just I've checked out of WWE for a while, so it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Yep. But anybody else have at it, boys? You got something to talk about? I think somebody mentioned earlier. We can do this real quick. Favorite 80s one-off slasher movie. It didn't have a franchise. I think I saw that one. That was a good question.
The Burning.
Dana, don't say Final Exam.
I was actually going to say The Burning. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, agreed. That would be my favorite as well.
Jesus.
I'm going to say Madman. Bro!
There are so many that it's hard to think of all of them because you're gonna say one and then be like, oh, what about this?
I mean, can you say My Bloody Valentine even though it had a remake? I mean, is that considered a franchise?
I would, yeah.
Right, because it didn't have a sequel.
I think, and I think it could have. Like, they could have done a they could have done a My Bloody Valentine sequel. I think they could have done a Madman sequel too.
I like House on Sorority Row. It's pretty good. I think it's a pretty solid one.
I'm gonna say Pieces for me.
Pieces that's a classic. Yeah. Absolutely.
Definitely.
I think My Bloody Valentine is a good pick. I mean, I'm glad that they didn't do a sequel to that in a way because that movie is just too perfect to mess with.
Yeah, it is really good.
I like I mean, I was gonna say My Bloody Valentine too, but I'm thinking of so much. But I do like The Prowler. I always thought that was a really good slasher with really good effects, and it was just kind of like a one-off. And I know some people dig it, some people don't, but I always thought that was pretty good.
Oh, so good. Tom Savini effects, Joseph Zito, who directed Friday 13th Final Chapter.
Yeah,
awesome.
And I just think that his outfit
Berserker, somebody mentioned.
Shut up.
There should have been another Berserker movie.
I got one. Slaughterhouse.
Oh,
Buddy's got an axe to
yeah.
grind. A big
Oh, yeah.
axe.
Buddy is back for Slaughterhouse.
I'm going
2.
with. I'm just going to go with Intruder. Somebody brought that up, but that's
Hell
like
yeah,
my favorite, favorite little known slasher film that never really like had any kind of.
Dude, I gotta say, like
franchise,
the first time I watched Intruder, I was actually pissed off at the end of that movie, like at the way that I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it, but I just didn't. I was mad because you're like, fuck that guy, dude. That's such a bitch. You know? I was just like, what? He's gonna get away with this?
He loves his store.
He's just crazy about that store.
I think they all went on to have like a lot of people that were associated with that movie like had really successful careers in entertainment. You know, after
Yeah, I mean it's got like a ton of really well known people connected to it in one way or another. It's just I don't know, it never took off for some reason.
I mean, the Mutilator is pretty good too. I mean that's
It is.
I think they're making a
Mutilator has
sequel to
Yeah,
that.
that's got a
Finally,
sequel coming. Yeah.
oh, that's true.
I
Oh
think
man, I totally forgot about that.
I'm
thing that gets
thinking
me
it's
about the
probably going
Mutilator
to
is
be
that
kind of like
song.
Dark Knight of the Scarecrow 2, but we'll see. I mean, it could be a little bit better than that.
Yeah,
Was it-
I'm
talking about
nervous
Buddy-
about that.
Was it you guys talking about? Was it Buddy Cooper, the director, used to? He would like send you shit for that for free if you just emailed him or talked
Yeah.
to him back in the day.
Well, apparently he has like I don't know if he still does, but I guess he has like boxes full of original rolled posters for that.
Yep.
Like not only the Mutilator, but the Fall Break poster as well.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
I'm thinking about like maybe I just message him on Facebook, but there's a funny story about that. His Instagram page, I believe it was like hacked because I followed the Mutilator Instagram page, and I don't know if anybody in here follows that, but like there's literally some Asian dude that hacked it, and it's just like pictures of this guy. They changed the name of the page. So if you go to the Instagram
Poor old Buddy
page,
Cooper,
like,
boss.
yeah, if you scroll down, it's like Mutilator posts, and then the most recent like 10 posts are these like just selfies of this random Asian dude.
Man,
Right.
let me tell you something that's very odd, though, because we always talk about these movies that had never gotten a release. Why has this never come out, right? Like, I mean, there's still a few left. Like, I think Dana's a big fan of Terror on Tour. That's one that we've never seen. I don't know. But back in the day, it was The Mutilator. Like, nobody released... The Mutilator wasn't on DVD. Why? What the hell? Why? So, we had Buddy Cooper on DEADPIT probably like 2013, 2014 video. And he was like, what's going on with Buddy Cooper? How did you track Buddy Cooper down? And I don't even remember how we did. I think we found him somehow, like when their autograph deal or whatever. So Buddy Cooper had all the film elements and everything. And that's how, like, nobody had ever contacted him about releasing The Mutilator.
I don't think anybody thought they could get a hold of him. It was like the easiest thing ever. Yeah.
I mean,
He's just sitting there twiddling
it's
his
as
thumb,
simple as
like-
that. Nobody ever talked to him
Wait for the
about
call.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, y'all were
Yeah.
talking about getting posters. Steve, a few years back, did just that. He messaged Buddy Cooper on Facebook and said he'd like to get his wife a poster and asked if he still had some. And Buddy Cooper's like, sure. And he sent him one of the Fall Break ones and signed it to me. So I
Yeah,
have a
that's
poster
awesome.
now.
That's cool. That's so cool. He's
That's
like a
so
chill
crazy.
guy. He's like, yeah, I got him. That's cool.
Sure, we could talk bed enough.
Yeah.
And they're not like expensive either. I think like it was like $20 or something like that.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
at
I
least that's
gotten
my
one
they go
from
for
him years and years ago. I don't think he signed it though. He just sent it. Like, remember we used to do the autograph thing through the mail, and I think he signed an index card or something like that. But he sent the poster along with it, but didn't sign the fucking poster. I always thought that was kind of weird, but it was free, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
really. Like,
Yeah, how do you guys think that sequel is going to turn out to The Mutilator? Because it's been so long, and like, I'm not hating on the original The Mutilator. I like the movie a lot. It's cheesy as hell though, and so like, how is this going to work out? I'm a little nervous. I don't necessarily have high hopes for it. It's cool that it's coming out. I'm
if
gonna
I had
watch
to guess, it's going to turn out like Return to Sleepaway Camp.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
And
Robert Hiltzik vibe coming on.
what was the other one?
I hope it's not that bad.
I don't know. I think it might.
I Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu.
Oh God.
Or
Oh, no.
what
That's
was
even worse.
the friggin'
What if he
Scarecrow
made
one
like
that you
a-
just watched?
Yeah, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow 2.
Yeah, it's going to turn out like that, more than likely.
I think old
I
Curly
don't
Jaws
have
is
high
going to
hopes
say
for
that
it.
this new one's going to be better than the original. He's going to say.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of these
By far.
directors now think they kind of lose sight of the fact that one of the reasons those movies were so good was the time period and the way it was shot. So they shoot it 35 millimeter or whatever, and then so many years later they're like, "Oh, I can just film this digitally," and it's like, well, you can, but that's kind of takes away from what.
And by filming digitally, they're out there with their phone. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah,
This
I don't
works
know.
really good.
That's all you need
There's
to make
another
a movie
part
now.
of it.
Crazy.
There's another part of it too. I was talking with Carter Derdention about this on the last Jaws thing, which is the minute that somebody realizes that they're supposed to be making something like wacky and kind of, cheesy, like it sucks ass. Like you have to like the movies that everybody remembers are ones where they were like trying to make the best movie they could and didn't realize that they were making something that was really like shitty or really kind of like cheesy or something like that. Because the minute it enters into your mind to try to make something like that, it seems like it just kills the whole movie. Like,
Yeah, fans see through it right away. Like they feel the non-genuine, like just through the filmmaking, they just feel that rub off,
And I think it worked a lot better.
And honestly, like,
in the 70s and 80s.
go ahead.
Like in the 70s and 80s, the times were different, and I think just, I don't know, acting and movies were different. Like, it was so genuine back then, but like, just even if you were trying to be genuine with it now, the way that people act and the way they see things is like, it's gonna mirror the times, which now are not the same as they were back then. So it's not gonna feel the same regardless of whether they're trying to make a shitty movie or they're trying to be tongue-in-cheek on purpose or not. Like, I don't think it's gonna be, you're never gonna be able to replicate the feeling of those older cheesy movies again.
Yeah, it's like we know it's a piece of crap, but we love it. But you don't need to know that you're making a piece of crap because then, like you said, yeah.
Yeah, it was the.
I just
whole
think for some of
aesthetic
these movies, though, like, I mean, who's really asking for the Mutilator 2 anyway? Like, what's the audience there? Because a lot of the people that grew up and watched the original, I mean, it's like,
You'll like it.
I like
Curly
it.
Jaws will enjoy it, but
Yeah.
Curly Jaws, that's what I meant. My bad.
the
original's great.
Yeah, the original's great. And who was asking for Dark Knight of the Scarecrow 2? Have you guys seen the I Spit on Your Grave Deja Vu movie, by the way? I know Dana has.
Unfortunately, yes.
About 2.5 hours.
That would probably, that one takes the cake. But I mean, I'll give it credit. It's so bad that you're almost captivated by what in the hell's going to happen next on it. Right. So it's 2.5 hours long.
That's so crazy.
2.5 hours long. Yeah.
I mean, that's already
the big thing. And then
that runtime is criminal for that movie, honestly. I
for the type of movie
I don't think
it
I could sit
is.
through it.
Even for an A24 film, if it's like 2 hours, man, sometimes it's like pushing it. I'm like, yo, end this thing. So like, it's just, I don't know. There's certain things where I feel like that's just way too long for that material. Like, I don't know. And it's been too long. Like so many years have passed. Like, I don't know. There's just something about those sequels where so much time has gone by. It's like, people even care. Maybe a couple will watch it, but like, who's it for? You know?
Yeah, I have no idea. I think the director, Miyazaki, I don't think that he had directed anything in between those movies. Is that right, Dana?
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But that movie is so bad that it makes me want to go back and watch Savage Vengeance. I don't know if y'all seen Savage Vengeance, which has Camille Keaton in it. And it's basically a very thin replication of I Spit on Your Grave. And Steve always says it has the Conway Twitty rapist in it because there's a guy that looks like Conway Twitty in it.
Oh, God. That's terrifying right there to be raped by Conway. Just know, like,
how would that go, Wes? Just out of curiosity, how would that go?
I just picture Conway Twitty talking like Sonny Landham. Like, I know he sung like Sonny Landham, but yeah. Hey, you want to taste a Conway's soup can dick? Come on.
I know it was called.
But I'd rather watch Savage Vengeance 10 times than ever watch that Deja Vu crap ever again.
Yeah, it is pretty terrible. But anybody else got anything though? Savage Streets 2? That would be an interesting one. That's not really a slasher movie, but
Savage Streets is an awesome movie.
Yeah.
I saw
John Farnham back, his music.
Damn.
They don't make movies like that at all anymore.
No, that would never happen again. The only problem, well, not the problem, just the rape scenes in that movie are just so uncomfortable. But otherwise, it's pretty awesome. Danny Steinman, he knew how to make an exploitation movie, you know?
Yeah.
That's why Friday 5's so wild, too.
Yep.
Yeah, the only weird thing about
Savage Streets, though.
it would have to be almost like a remake or something, I would think. It'd be the
Linda Blair would not do that. She would not do that. Not even close.
She'd be hugging a fucking husky or something.
Oh
God! Let me protect you. That's stupid shit.
Linda
I mean, I'm
Blair's
all
Dog
for like
Foundation.
animal rescue and everything, but Jesus Christ, like everything she does now is centered around them damn dogs. It's like
if you don't
really
talk to her about
I don't have a
animals,
problem
you
with
probably
Linda
won't
Blair.
have
Was cool with me, but
I like Linda Blair too. Yeah,
I didn't talk with her about animals either. But she was fine. Like,
She
I
had a lot of nice things to say about Savage Streets. If you watch the interview on, I forget which, it might be the Code Red disc. There's a few releases of that I think, but she had nothing but really nice things to say about that movie. She seemed to genuinely enjoy it and the experience.
Weird thing about Savage Streets is like I need to own the Blu-ray. I don't have it yet, but I don't know if anybody's tried to stream it on because it was on Prime for a while, and I think it was on Tubi as well. Both I tried to watch it on both of those services, and the audio is screwed up on both of those streams. Like it's got a wavy, like in and out wobble to the audio, and I'm like, I can't. It's unwatchable. Like it's just too distracting. So, and both Tubi and Prime, it was like that. So. Wow. I need to get the Blu-ray and watch it because I never was able to finish it.
I think
the Blue is good, or the Code Red one I think is the one I have. The quality was the video and audio was really strong on it. So.
I came across that at like a Tunes store, and it was like $60 they were trying to charge for it. I don't know if that was a good price. I put it back, but I was like 60. You know, you could tell they looked it up online and then put it in their store, and I was like, is that what
it's in print
for, the
again
Code
now?
Red? Okay. Yeah, because that was I guess that was the first one they had in there.
Right.
The first pressing.
Does anybody know if that one was re-released on vinyl, the soundtrack? Because I love the soundtrack to that.
I don't know. It does have a really good soundtrack, though.
It's like one of the best overall soundtracks, of any of those style movies.
No, I don't know. I was gonna say I like the Mutilator soundtrack as well. I like the theme to that movie.
Do you?
It's really creepy.
You like saxophone?
Well, yeah, the Fall Break song, like it unintentionally gets stuck in your head. But I was talking about like the synthy, like the
Oh,
It's
the
like
actual
dum, dum.
soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that, but that fall break song literally you just can't. If you watch that movie once, you'll never forget that.
Yeah, I've had that song in my head ever since.
Gonna be a fall break.
And they're all southern as hell in that movie. It's hilarious. All the actors.
Who the fuck, like, Fall Break? Who the hell would name, I know they changed it and everything, but that was the original, a horror movie. It's Fall Break.
There's actually there's a 7-inch
worst
7-inch vinyl of the Mutilator. There's like a 7-inch vinyl available of that song. Came out when the movie came out.
They put out a single with it.
That's all.
They did.
We're fucking around.
God.
I've been listening to some of those lost theme records that John Carpenter put out. And, like, you could say what you want to about his movies and how they changed the shit, but he can still, like, his music is still like it always was. So, and I know he did the new Firestarter soundtrack. Can you see, like, you think anybody else would want him to do so? I mean, I would. If I was in charge, I would definitely.
Some of those lost themes tracks
hire Carpenter.
would fit
so
well, like as a score for
Man,
a
you
film.
put that on the turntable and it just sounds great. I mean, there's such. I love what they do with, like, you know, all the different pressings that they do with that, because there's a market for that. And then when he tours, like, I didn't get a chance to see him when he, like, toured, but like that's such a cool concept. And, like, the fact that he's still doing that and he still has passion for that is really cool, you know, because he doesn't have to do anything, you know. He can just be like, I'm done, you know, I want to play video games, but he still goes out and tours and doing these soundtracks.
The concert's great. If he does it, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah.
I think he kind of liked the rock star thing a little bit, like where he's like, okay, now I get to do this.
Yeah.
I met him. He came to my office and I talked to him for a little bit, but he didn't give a shit about, like, any of that stuff, you know? Like, if you try to talk to him about, like, movies, and
he gets annoyed, like,
it's like, I want to go watch the Clipper game, you know?
No.
Well, that's interesting.
But
because
yeah,
he's doing Steel City Con, so I wonder how he's going to be interacting.
If you pay to talk to him, I'm sure he'll be very, very interested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, $140.
He actually won't be. He's actually still going to be like, get out of my fucking face.
You're like, yeah,
But
that's cool.
He's sensitive too.
Get out of here.
Shut up.
He doesn't
The
ever.
concerts are stellar, though. So if he does a tour, you should go see it.
Yeah.
They do.
Hopefully he'll come
he
to
does
Philly
all
or
theme
something.
stuff, and then they do stuff from the soundtracks, and it all sounds awesome.
And they have, like, the movie images behind him and shit as it plays and stuff. That's
Really cool.
I did see that Adam. What was it? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, he's played, like, I live close to Pittsburgh, so he's played there, and I missed it. I didn't get to see that. Another guy that came to Pittsburgh and did a show, which I totally regret. I don't know. This was years ago. Fabio Frizzi was in Pittsburgh and did a live show there.
Saw that show.
I'm so mad, dude, that I think that it was a bad time. I couldn't go.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I went to that show. I saw Goblin do when they did it, one of those shows. But the Fabio Frizzi one was fucking amazing. It's like you're sitting there and it's like zombie, City of the Living Dead, like, and then they have the projections. And, like, the theater I saw it in like this historic theater on Hollywood Boulevard that's been there since, like, the 1920s. So it has, like, a gothic vibe to it. It's mind-blowing.
That's killer.
And he hasn't toured since then, as far as I know. At least
I don't
not
think
in the
so.
States. Yeah, and so, like, I kick myself every day for that. Like, next time Goblin comes around, and I think they will, because they've got the new version of Goblin with Claudia Simonetti. So I think that there's a good chance that people will be able to catch them if they do another tour. Sadly I missed both times again that they came to Pittsburgh the last couple of years. So maybe next time.
The Fritzy one too. They showed the Beyond on 35 millimeter, and then he did the show, and then they showed the Beyond on 35 millimeter afterwards. It's like sick.
Steve and I got to see. I was going to say, Steve and I got to see Claudio Simonetti play with his version of Goblin after we saw the rest of his original band in, what was it, Cincinnati, when we all of us went?
Yep, it was me and you and Steve and Savannah. We all saw.
Yeah.
I don't know what incarnation that was. Like, I don't know how many of the original people from Goblin were in that. I do know that it was fucking killer though. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
sounds amazing, right?
The Simon Eddy version, when he came to Louisville, we were lucky enough, or I was lucky enough to see that he was playing in Louisville, and I was like, Steve, we got to get tickets to this. And they showed, I believe they showed Suspiria on the screen, and they played music throughout. And Steve was a little like ho-hum about that. But then they just really started jamming to all different kinds of things after the movie was over. They played music from a lot of Argento's movies, and it was just awesome. So I'm glad we got that experience too.
somebody mentioned too that Goblin was just a bunch of like studio musicians that they threw together, and like none of those guys really knew each other or anything like that per se, and like a lot of them didn't like each other, but for some reason like they all just clicked, and they made some of like the most memorable scores ever. I thought that was bizarre.
Oh yeah.
I think the Deep Red soundtrack is maybe the number one horror soundtrack in my opinion. Just at least as far as Italian movies go, I think Deep Red it's just so good. It's just as music, not even as a score to a movie, but just as progressive rock music. It's so good.
I tell you this too, there's nothing better than that scene in Tenebrae when the fucking book hits the fire and then it's like that's just...
I just showed Tenebrae to my girlfriend. She was like, "This soundtrack is jamming. What is it?" I was just like,
that movie's awesome.
This is it.
That one to me is like a little bit more accessible too. If like you're trying to show someone like in one of those Italian movies, it has kind of a straightforward plot and really good music, and I really like that one. I can't wait for that 4K to come.
Oh man, I got that pre-ordered. I can't wait.
Yeah,
hell yeah. The price
haven't watched
already
it in
went
like,
back up.
Well, that's
Really?
in the next week or so, right? Isn't that coming out next week?
It's coming soon. Yeah,
sometime this
Yeah,
month.
pretty sure. Yeah.
Don't start them with Phenomena.
Yeah.
That's probably the worst.
yeah, that's not the film to start with.
think that was honestly the worst. I think that was the first one that I watched though on Anchor Bay, the DVD back in the day. I think that was the first Argento movie that I saw was Phenomena. And the funny thing is I only got to see a half of it because I think the DVD was one of those that the movie was kind of, the pressing was screwed up on it or something. So I didn't get to see it all the way through. But yeah, that's an odd one. I like Phenomena though.
It's fun.
I love Phenomena, but it's out there. That's definitely not like, hey, this is your first Argento movie. Like, jump into Phenomena, you know?
It's very
It's beautifully shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So good though.
Yeah. But guys, damn, it's almost 12:30 here. And these shows are always fun. I don't know, like this is the first one we've done in a couple of months. So hopefully we can get back and start doing these each month again. But we always have all kinds of stuff planned. I think we're doing another Hall of Mania show coming up next week sometime. So that'll be fun too. But any of you guys have anything? Like I know John, Anthony, that horror crew. I think all you guys have your own channel. I don't know if Eric, if you have your own channel or not, but I think most of you guys do. Anything you guys want to plug on here?
I'm gonna do my Vinegar Syndrome haul soon. I got it in Friday, so they finally. I got it in Thursday. Never mind, but it took forever. It was in Memphis, and then it came over, and it's because I added to it. So I'm probably gonna do an unboxing for that one soon.
Yeah, me too. Probably. I got a couple unboxings I'm thinking about doing. So yeah, same here.
I've got a Cheese Extreme Wednesday coming up. This coming Wednesday, I'll have a couple of more cheesy movies to talk about. And I've got a watch along coming up. I guess it'll be this next Saturday. As soon as people finish voting. I think the burning's ahead like by a landslide right now. It was 56% of the votes were for the burning. So we'll see how that turns out.
Cool.
I think Don't Go in the House was right behind it, right?
Yeah, it was.
I want to see that. I voted for Don't Go in the House personally.
I just got that from Severin actually. Well, I think when when I met up with Garrett at Chiller, we went over to the Severin table. I picked up Don't Go in the House finally. I always liked that movie too. That was always such a killer movie.
Is that the one where the guy burns the victims?
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's great.
I'm still
So
waiting.
listen though, I still need co-host for Weekend at Freakin's. I'm not joking around. So if anybody has a particular like freaking movie, I know that Runk is going to be doing Cruising and maybe To Live and Die in L.A. But I mean, there's
I can't wait
more.
to fucking hear Runk on there.
That's going to be amazing. Yeah.
Well, I think me
Anybody
and
wants
Uncle
to do it?
Bill. Now here's one for you because this is why I picked this one, and I don't know when we're going to do this, but Weekend with Freakin' episode, the one I picked with Uncle Bill, we have never, and I looked this up, Uncle Bill, reviewed The Exorcist on DeadPit ever.
What?
Yep.
So that's
You
a
got dibs
must.
on that.
We
Yeah.
got to do that.
We've got to do what you said,
So-
though. Yeah, we've got to do this
What's
show that you're talking, where we do The Exorcist and Blue Chips. Just because.
Blue Chips, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to
God.
ask you if you're going to do Blue Chips.
That's awesome.
Blue Chips, yes.
I'm
Because a
excited
lot of
for that
people don't
movie.
realize I was a huge fan of Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway as a kid. So, of course, I watched this in the theater, this movie, and it's so odd it's the same guy that directed the fucking Exorcist and Cruising.
Right.
He made Blue Chips
Oh, yeah.
as well.
Yeah, make sure
that'll
you
be a-
definitely
whenever we
watch
do that.
the making of Cruising before you do that. Because it's like, listen, if anybody, first of all, if you haven't seen Cruising, you need to watch it like as soon as possible, at least before Uncle Bill does that episode. But then after you watch it, it's on YouTube and it's on the Arrow disc as well. Watch the making of Cruising documentary. It is absolutely what they did to get that movie made and what he did. It's unheard of. You could never do that nowadays. Friedkin is a badass. Friedkin is such a badass.
I don't know if
Yeah, I can't
any
wait.
of you guys listen to the Bret Easton Ellis podcast. This guy that wrote American Psycho. He does a paid podcast. He just did like a 2.5-hour interview with William Friedkin.
Oh
And,
God.
Friedkin pulls no punches and does not give a shit and is completely 120% honest. And
Oh,
speaks his mind.
he's what 80?
So,
It looks like he's 86 now. I just looked it up. So yeah, he
Oh.
doesn't give a fuck.
yeah.
Damn, he's 86 already. Wow.
But he's still
Yeah.
sharp as a tack, and
That's
had a
cool.
lot of
That's cool.
interesting things to say. And they talked about Cruising, and Cruising is interesting too because it's sort of loosely based on a real murder that happened, and the guy who committed that murder is actually in The Exorcist.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, the
that'll make for a
radiologist
good.
guy.
That'll make for
Yeah.
a good weekend with Freakin' for sure.
I heard him one time talk about Al Pacino. It was one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard. The guy asked him something about, like, the interviewer asked him, Al Pacino's, like, being critical of, something that you did in Cruising, and he goes, I don't give a fuck about Al Pacino. He goes, I gave a big fuck about some actors, like Tommy Lee Jones and et cetera, that came to set prepared, but I don't give a shit about what Al Pacino thinks about anything.
Wow.
It was like, okay.
Gotta love the honesty.
Yeah.
Some of those guys, like
we reviewed.
Clark. Well, it's like saying like Bob
Yep.
Clark, man. He did like Black Christmas and shit, and then later on he did like Karate Dog. Like when you look at his later career, he does all this like random comedy stuff, and you're like, what? Like, where's this come
Yep.
from? You know?
Yeah, well, he did.
Christmas
Was
Story.
it Porky's? He did like.
Yeah, Porky's. Yeah.
Did he do Porky's? Yeah. So he did a lot of random stuff too. I think we reviewed the Freakin' movie though, Killer Joe. I think was that his last? No, he did a movie since then.
No, he did a exorcism style documentary.
Yeah, documentary kind of movie. Yeah.
There's some
that
fucking
was his
crazy shit in Killer Joe too.
Yeah, Killer Joe's insane.
But
Love it, though.
yeah, I think Rambo would be down. He'd be up for Jade and the Hunted. So I know he joined you for one of your Jaws episodes.
Hell yeah, I need somebody needs to do Sorcerer because that's definitely one that I'm going to do. So somebody needs to.
I'm a big fan of Sorcerer.
But the
yeah.
Guardian.
Yeah.
The fuck, I forgot about The Guardian. Yeah, I haven't watched that movie in 20 years, bro.
What about The Brinks Job?
You're getting a little bit too obscure now. Yeah. It's like one of the early on, yeah.
But guys, it's been fun. It's been fun though. We appreciate everybody joining us. We've had a ton of people on here all night, over 100 people a lot of the nights. So appreciate everybody, and we'll have to do this again. Hopefully we can get this in again next month. And we're going to be back. I think the next show, I don't know if you're doing the weekend with Friedkin a week from this weekend, Uncle Bill, but I think our next show is going to be that Vinegar Syndrome Hallomania show. So stay tuned for that one.
Nice.
Cool. Hell yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Right. No problem. I hope everybody has a good rest of your weekend, and we will catch you guys. Hang on a second here, both. Next time over at DEADPIT.com.
Bye.
Give us the thumbs up. See you guys. Like, subscribe.
Come on.
And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell. I clicked it, boys. Where's it at? Come on.
Ain't nothing working on it. There's too many damn people.
We had too many people on here.
How? It's just you.
Give us the thumbs up. Like, subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a if you do.
I want you to. I want you to.
I don't care.
Let's keep our community growing here on YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to do nothing.
Listen, they need to do that, pal.
No, don't you dare touch it.
Thumbs up. Subscribe. And click that bell.
For this video officially, it's Old Curly Jaws has a message for you. Go on over to shop.deadpit.com and go look at their Team Public store right now. You got some new shirts like the Old Curly Jaws official t-shirt, which is brutal and badass. You got the Yummy Gummy shirt with the captain himself on the shirt. You got Uncle Bill's face on a fucking shirt. You got the Final Girl shirt. You got all these shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Get them before they're all out, especially the new one, Bedtime's in39. It doesn't get better than that, so go on out. Check out these shirts at shop.deadpit.com. Go look at their Team Public store. You're going to have a good old time. Get them all!
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. Deadpit on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows and fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.